Why?
Let's go!
This show fucking stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
AJ, you never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it!
What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck Boston.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Knicks Getting Hitched. Thursday, April 13th, 2023. The sports program starts now. Love is in the air, and I don't know if you can feel it at home, but it is palpable here.
Hell yeah.
In the Thunderdome, because one of our own is no longer going to have a naked-ass left ring finger. No, one of us that works in this Thunderdome has been with this company since the beginning and has been a friend of mine literally since high school. One of us is an Italian man that used to roam the streets of Pittsburgh for generation after generation and generation. We thought there was a chance this man was untamable. Thought he was going to run wild. Thought he was going to be solo dolo forever.
Why?
And then this Italian woman came into his life, and they found love.
Hell yeah.
And what is love? Is it not this longing for togetherness? And is that not the reason why you say, I want to be with you forever? That is real love. And we're just a couple of days away from celebrating it completely back in Pittsburgh for Nick. Congrats, Nick.
Congrats, Nick.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you, guys. Too kind. You're too kind.
He did not want us to say any of that, but who would I be if I didn't utilize my platform to embarrass the fucking shit out of Nick?
Sure.
Because he doesn't like anything to be made about him, doesn't like any attention at all. This weekend, all eyes.
That's right. Yeah.
On the Maroldos.
On that guy.
I think he's giving a speech.
Ooh.
Okay. I think he's giving a speech. I do believe, right? Aren't you giving one?
I got some things to say, yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
All eyes on Frank. He's going to look incredible. I believe the hair is going to be
dynamic.
It's a big one. Hey, Nick, we're proud of you, pal.
Thanks, man.
Hell yeah,
All
Nick.
eyes will be on the bride. That's the goal this week.
Agreed. But I'm saying, amen. Agreed completely. But you will be right there. You know what I mean?
Two eyes, two people.
That's what I kind of learned of all the wedding photos from my wedding. It was like, certainly all the photos are of Sam, but I'm in every single one of them just like looking at her like, damn, goddamn, you look good. So remember that, you know?
I will remember
all
that.
eyes are on you at all times. I don't think I realized that because your eyes were on the bride, right?
That's good advice. Thank you.
Yeah. So just know that that's happening, you know, because you're in every single photo. It's a celebration of you too, pal. It's yours. It's your wedding as well. Not that Carly isn't obviously the incredible piece of this entire thing, but the humans that are showing up at this wedding representing this particular Italian side.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be awesome.
A lot of gobble.
Nick, we're all going to be celebrating you, dude. Thank you
Nick.
for doing what you're doing. Because
wait,
it's given
boys.
us an opportunity to have a legendary weekend back in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
One thing I won't do, I'm not stopping at the casino.
Why?
No, I'm going to have to.
Okay.
Pay your dues, Pat.
I was going to say, you're not
Pay
stopping
your
at the
dues.
arena.
So this is what I do every time I go back to Pittsburgh, which used to be much more often than it is now. Obviously, married, wife, you know, about to give birth to our first baby. So I don't get to get back. Business is out here, family's out here, life is out here. So I don't get to get back as much. But every time I've gone back, I've stopped at the casino, Rivers Casino downtown, before going and meeting anybody anywhere.
Sure.
So drive across 70, the most boring drive of all time across Ohio. It's the same fucking photo for 5 hours. Just straight across, straight. It's literally just straight as an arrow, 5 hours. That's all you got to do. Get to Rivers, go in there. I have never won. Has to be over 90 times probably, 100 times. I don't think that first walk-in whatever I've ever won. Now, through weekends, you have up days and up nights at that casino, but inevitably you're going to lose at that casino. And I think at this time, I'm going to be an adult. I got a baby on the way.
That's right.
I'm not just going in there and losing.
No.
I'm going back to Pittsburgh to celebrate love. I'm not going back to Gombo and go to the South Side and, you know, golf with the boys on the entire golf course.
No.
I'm not doing that. I'm celebrating love this weekend.
That's right.
So I'm not even going to the casino.
Look at
you. Holy shit.
Maybe once or twice.
Friday, we do have a lot of time. So I think we got to stop by, I guess.
Get breakfast.
I can't wait to get back to Pittsburgh. These two men will be there. The Toxic Table at Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt. Connor's doing the wedding.
Yeah. Here we go.
Okay? He's
Jacked up.
officiating the wedding. One half of the Hammer, Dahn Cowboys. Tone Diggs has been doing cardio every single morning to look good in this particular tux because he's it. Tone Diggs. Connor's doing the wedding.
Bold move.
What do you mean?
By who?
Who's by Nick and Carly?
Couple, yeah.
Yeah.
What's that about, Tony?
You know what that's about.
I don't disagree there. That is a bold move by them, but I'm excited.
Do you have this thing orchestrated ready
Oh
to go?
yeah. I wrote it a few weeks ago. I feel pretty good about it. Got some other eyes on it.
All right. So are you going to have a piece of paper in front of you?
I'm thinking I'm gonna get a black book, and I'm going to
As if it
glue-
was a Bible.
Bingo. Glue or staple words that I'm saying into it.
Smart. That's like Jimmy Fallon's thank you notes. You know, like,
Yeah.
boom.
Already written,
They're in there.
and he's just
Nice little reminder. That's brilliant, by the way.
Yeah.
Whenever I see it, I'm like, this is smart. This is a very smart idea. Big brains are over there. So incredibly innovative. You're doing that in the book, but you just told everybody, so it kind of ruins kayfabe.
No. It's okay. No matter what, at some point, I was gonna say like, hey, I obviously wasn't just reading this off the top of my head.
What
I
if
had
you
it written
did
down.
memorize the whole thing and just fucking
That'd
acted
be
like,
pretty sweet.
You know what I mean?
I
Something to
mean,
think
maybe
about.
there's still time. I still could. What really I'm thinking about, and Ty kind of brought this to my attention, is maybe something goes wrong with the bottom half of my suit, and I'm up there in gym shorts and gym shoes.
Yeah, because you're not packing anything else, I'd assume, because why would you?
Bingo.
That's not going to go well for you, Con man.
Yeah, listen, I was told where I can and where I can't wear a tank top already going in. I was already given like some instructions. I don't know if you can be balls out at the wedding. I think the officiating job is in every photo. Oh my God, right here.
Oh yeah, I got a few of them. I'm gonna make sure if I see the camera guy, maybe just give a hey.
Oh, see, it's not about the pictures. It's about the love. Remember that.
You're right. I'm just trying to remember for after. I will be in some of the photos.
Also on stage today is a man who will be with us at that wedding, not in the wedding, but did get us a gift for the wedding.
Yeah.
Bunch of diamonds from Tasia Diamonds over there in the Diamond District of New York. Shout out to Pooch and Edgardo. Edgardo looked real cool.
Yeah.
Great.
And shout out to 14-year NFL corner Pac-Man Jones.
Yeah.
Thank you for that gift yesterday. That was very cool of you. Let's dive into it. He's officiating the wedding. How do you feel about it? You're going to be there.
I feel really good. I talked to Connor. I didn't talk to him last night. Got me a little rest, but the rest of the week I've talked to him about this. I think he's well prepared, and I have my ordained license too. I told him the first thing first is don't fuck up the names.
Yeah.
Don't fuck up the names.
Which you won't do.
No
you, Pat.
chance.
You're good.
You know these people.
Exactly. I'm not worried about the names.
You're not just getting hired as an outside independent party.
No.
You're in the group.
I'm part. Yeah, exactly. I know them both personally. I'm in the group, and really, when I look at the whole thing, it's only it's 3 minutes of talking that I'm not just looking down and reading what I'm.
Oh, what about a clap? In there moments for applause?
Yeah, pause for applause.
Pop pauses too, like ha ha ha, big pop here.
We'll see. I'm not planning on
Any
the big
pops? Any pops?
I'm hoping there's one or two, but I still don't know. That's the only toss up in the whole entire thing. I don't know.
Nick, are there any pops, you think? Have you guys had any conversation about how many pop pauses he should be scripting into his officiating of the wedding thing?
I didn't really think about it. That's kind of up to Con man. It depends on his delivery, I suppose.
Exactly. It all depends on how I say it, and one of them is the debate about Nick and Frank. I still have to figure out what I'm going to do there.
Let's not let all the cats out of the bag, Con man.
True. Sorry, I apologize.
I will say, in some businesses where things are potentially scripted,
Sure.
if you choose to go off script, better be good.
Yeah, I'd say.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Better be good. There's been some legendary moments in a lot of different businesses when you go off script, and somebody would go off script, and then their career would take a complete change, a trajectory north. A rocket ship would be put on that particular person's back to the top, and they'd have great success. If you're going to improv.
Yeah.
Then there's also people that have done that, and it's been terrible, and they're right out of the
Death
building.
sentence.
Yeah.
Right out of the building.
Tom Brenneman.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Gary, that's
Went
a great
off,
way
yeah.
to
Yeah.
did go off script, but like there's only one wedding. Like so you're
Exactly.
gonna get fired anyways, right? You're not gonna be doing another one.
That's right. I'm probably never going to be ordaining another wedding.
I think you should get pretty comfortable up there.
Yeah,
I think you should take some liberties. It's not my wedding, obviously, and Carly cares much more than Nick does, I would assume, because like how my wife was, they have dreams of what these weddings are gonna be like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So
I could get these signs there.
Yeah, part of the thing is thinking that maybe Zito, instead of the black book, I just have Zeke kneel down in the middle of the aisle with cards.
I'll think right now about how much panic and alarm is going through the bride's side of the wedding.
Oh, yeah.
from what the conversation we're having.
I assume there's some in Nick's too.
Yeah, because he knows he has to.
Yeah, but we hung out with Frank a few weeks ago. I mean, the bride's mother actually did tell me, like, hey, I don't care what you do up there. Just don't fuck this up for my daughter, okay?
Well, that is such a broad thing. That's like conduct detrimental to the team.
Yeah,
They put that in
exactly.
a contract, and it's like, oh, this tweet is detrimental to the team. It's like, how it gave motivation. How? I was making fun of myself. Just because it was. You're fine this. That may or may not have happened to me a few times. Those tweets might still be on the internet, and we're never going to get deleted ever because they were completely wrong. But don't fuck this up is a pretty wide net. Like, there's a lot of different ways to fuck something up.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure on your shoulders, pal.
No,
Hey, we're pulling for you.
Yeah. Good luck.
Hey, let's put on a good show up there.
Appreciate
luck,
that,
dude.
guys.
Let's celebrate love, right, Foxy?
Yes, sir. Actually, in high school and college, I filmed a lot of weddings. So my advice to Connor would be to really make it about yourself, because that's why everyone's there.
Boom.
You got a quick 5-10 minutes to crack some jokes, get everyone laughing, good vibes, and then, they're getting married, cool. But this is your moment, Con, so good luck.
And because when we're sitting in there, we're trying to settle in too. If you just get right to the business, like some of us might miss it. Some of us might not know what's going on.
Sure.
We went to Ty's wedding. That was a show.
Oh, yeah, that guy was a beast.
Hey, that was a show. We were kind of in the back, so we got a chance to enjoy it more. I think people up front, not as comfortable giving reactions.
Okay.
But for us, that was a fucking awesome wedding. In the place that it was. Where was it? It was George George Washington.
Trinity Church. Yeah, George Washington used to worship there.
So we walked into this place. Ty's getting married up in New England in a town that's just stacked on top of each other. Yep. Speaking of, Watertown, 4 square miles, 40,000 residents. That was where the Boston bombing thing ended. That documentary, really, really awesome.
Wild.
Really awesome on Netflix right now. It's a 3-part series. So that was my first time in that area. We drove across a bridge going into this town. It was like, I'm back in like the 1300s right now. And then we go to that church, and then the performance was there. It was a smashing success. The venue you're getting married at is like an incredible Pittsburgh venue. I mean, it's going to be like an incredible thing.
Yeah, it should be pretty sick. It's an incredible architectural feat.
Let's go.
Are we standing in the way? Are we standing near you?
Yes.
Okay, because there's different ways to do that too. I've been in things where they're sitting down.
Me too.
I've been where people are standing.
Catholic
so we're flanking you.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy hell.
I'm jacked up about it.
I'm 3 feet from you. 4 feet.
Yeah.
5 feet. Oh.
Yeah, I'm looking straight and right. I don't need to look left at any point.
To us?
Yeah, I do not need to do that.
All right, well, you're going to crush it.
Hey, I
Nick, we
appreciate
can't wait
that.
to celebrate you and Carly.
Very excited.
Thanks, boys. Pumped up. Can't wait for you guys all to experience the city and the love.
Yeah, I'm pumped to go home. Also, let's think about the Michael Scott thing that we showed you before. Maybe you jumped the gun on introducing the bride and the new husband Nick before they kiss.
So I'm not an Office fan. I am a fan of it.
Yes, sure.
I have never sat down and just watched it. Like, there's people that have watched every episode numerous times. I am not that person. My wife is though. Just saw Michael Scott crush it at a wedding. The earlier, for the first time, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, man. That was incredible. Let's not do that.
No.
Remember, this is a big day.
Huge day.
Very excited. I already have.
Don't listen to what Foxy said. Foxy's lying.
No, I know that.
What do you mean?
Foxy's got no idea. And I already know, like, the points in it. For instance, when they kiss, I know, hey, look, I have a couple more lines, but I need to step away so
Let
they
it
can
breathe.
get some good photos of just them two.
Smart.
Yeah, like I have those points.
So Bob Cavoyan
You are ready.
from Bob and Tom
Hell yeah.
did me and Sam's wedding.
Yeah, and he crushed it.
He was incredible.
And he was no quick five. He was to the script.
He was doing it.
Yeah.
And the way he worded it was very deep, and he had a sweet dress-up ball cap.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, we love you, Bob.
Love you,
Bob. All right, let's dive into some news that has happened around the NFL. And, I mean, Nick getting married is pretty big news.
Huge news.
Oh, yeah, we're off tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I delayed that until 16 minutes in. I didn't want to say it. I don't love it, but it has to happen. This is a holiday.
Oh, yeah.
What's happening with Nick is an absolute fucking holiday, and I am pumped about it.
Yeah.
Whatever you need from us, Nick, you know you got us for the next few days and for the rest of your life, pal.
Amen.
Thank you, guys. You're too kind.
All right, let's talk Charles Robinson of Yahoo Sport.
Yeah.
Okay, Charles Robinson, who is Yahoo Sport.
Yeah, the face of it.
Okay, we know that because he's been on the program numerous times. Friend of the program.
Yes.
Charles Robinson is now reporting, and he did this on Wad and Tosh.
Yeah, Wildy and Tosh.
Wildy and Tosh, which is a sports show.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Green Bay or if it's Milwaukee, but Tosh used to play tackle for the Packers, so it's a Packers radio show.
Charles Robinson, who's an insider for Yahoo Sports and is Yahoo Sports, said on that one that basically there was already a deal made. It was already done. A 2023 second, 2024 guaranteed first, and they are willing to give something back in 2025, and the Jets don't want it. Why? Because Aaron Rodgers said that he was potentially thinking about retiring, and that kind of scared Woody Johnson, and now they're trying to figure out what the future things are.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting thing that Charles Robinson breaks that news, because if Woody Johnson did not know that information after spending, an 11-hour trip in California
at his house,
whenever I believe there was great vibes were said by all people. So if Woody doesn't know that after that meeting, and then they still are in the middle of negotiating, that's interesting. That's an interesting little wrinkle, I think, in the entire conversation between Aaron and Woody, and Aaron in the meeting that he's had with the Jets, and what Aaron has said to the Jets, that Aaron would come on this show and say that he was 90% retired, 10% back whenever he went into the darkness. Then while in the darkness, we think, not 100% sure, while he was tripping balls like Queen's Gambit,
that's right,
he said, if I can find another motivation, I'm going to keep going. I think he was just looking for it. He was also thinking that he was going to maybe go back to the Packers. The Packers basically told him before he went into the darkness, take your time, however much time you need. Then when he got out of the darkness, yes, a hole in the ground in Oregon that had very nice facilities.
Unbelievable.
Great.
But absolutely no light. He said the tone had changed. They said, we're basically moving on to Jordan Love. We will figure out something to do with you. And boom, that was the chip on his shoulder, and he was back and running pretty much. That's kind of how I took the conversation. I don't know what that is. But if he was to come on the show and say that, and didn't tell Woody that, or in any of these conversations whenever they were either at his house in California when they took the jet, Woody Johnson, bazillionaire, owner of a few companies, one that, Aaron and he certainly have a little interest. Busy human, I think we could probably assume.
Safe to assume.
And if he's not busy, that means he's just completely retired and out of touch and doesn't do anything.
Right.
So to take the time to fly and go meet with Aaron, talk to Aaron, have a full day together, get to know each other.
Might have went in the hole and we know.
Could have been.
Could have put blackout curtains around the whole house.
Yep.
We don't, ayahuasca, maybe they sip some tea. Not saying Woody would do that.
Listen
but
to Pink Floyd.
We don't, who knows what they did. If he was learning that on our program and not from those conversations, I'd say that's an issue.
Yeah.
Right, Ty? I mean, I would say that would probably be a little bit of an issue.
Yeah, for sure. And that was, I mean, like everything else aside, that was kind of my biggest takeaway from reading this whole thing was like, holy shit, when he was on the show, like, everyone was like, why are we still talking about this guy? Like, everyone was locked in pins and needles about what he was going to say. And apparently, like, a lot of people legitimately had no idea what he was going to say. Like, to think that the owner of the Jets was learning this shit the same time that we were is fascinating and wild.
Certainly fascinating. If this is this is really what's going on right now. Now, Trey Wingo had the information about Woody Johnson flying to Aaron Rodgers before anybody else. So I assume he has pretty good connections over there. Greenberg, right? One of the loudest. He's in 2 Hall of Fames. I assume he has some good ones. So if they knew that as well, I wonder what their feelings are on either why they didn't release it or if they have a little bit of worries about maybe this deal getting done whenever everybody was just leaning to believe that it was certainly getting done. What are your thoughts on it, Pac-Man?
I don't know if I trust this resource.
Whoa!
Oh, Pac.
Oh!
Friend of the show.
Chuck Robinson.
He is friend of the program.
I understand, but the resource is not adding up. We got Greeny. Greeny is the man.
For the Jets. Fireman Ed, first of all. Hold on.
Yep.
Wow.
Fireman Ed.
When they're good.
Yeah, he's been killed a couple times now, but fireman when they're good, Fireman Ed.
What about our other dude who got the Pokemon?
Gary V.
Gary V.
Yep.
Who got the Pokemon.
You know?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, like, how all of a sudden he get this valuable information?
I don't know.
We know a lot of good guys.
Yeah, just listen.
I agree.
Listen. He did say V-Friends is his Pokemon.
He did.
I do like the fact that you remember that. Oh, this guy thinks he created the next Pokemon. Because his Pokemon, incredible business.
Yeah.
If V-Friends becomes the next Pokemon, he's
Gary
buying
will buy
the
the
Jets.
Jets. Look
He's going to buy the Jets. I love that because as soon as he said that, that was my first thought too. Like, oh, okay, so that's how he's viewing V-Friends. That is a potential massive business for that fucking guy. You took it the same way, hysterical. You're right, though. Well, a lot of us are confused on how, but Robinson's been an insider for a long time. He works at Yahoo Sports. So that's like saying you worked at MySpace. Like, Yahoo's been around a long time. He's been in the game a long time over there at Yahoo.
Maybe Woody did find out when he was on here about the 90%, because if they flew out to Aaron's house and Aaron opened the door, it's like, guys, I appreciate you flying out here, but you would have thought he would have let off with like, hey, I'm 90% retired. So what were they doing there for the other 10 hours?
Well, that's what we're kind of saying. But we got to pivot away from this. I'm sure we'll dive back into it whenever AJ Hawk joins us in about 38 minutes, because AJ would know all of this.
He would. Yeah, he knows.
He knows.
And remember, he's withholding information. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Not lying.
When he's speaking, what he's saying, well, that's already out there, isn't it? That means, okay, so he feels okay saying this.
You're getting warm. Keep
because
going.
it's already out there. It's not him breaking news. He sits in a spot where he doesn't. So I'll be excited to hear what his thoughts are on the potential development that Woody Johnson did not know that Aaron was close or contemplating retirement whenever he was going in that dark hole out there in Oregon. Fascinating stuff. Joining us now. And whenever I say fascinating, I only say that because the sport is so goddamn exhilarating.
Hell yeah.
When you're talking about way back in the day, moonshiners during the Prohibition era, they would have to outrun some fucking cops because they wanted to spread the happiness of booze around to different states in the South and other places. Those cars being so souped up, so goddamn powerful, would then go on to become a racing series. And these fucking cars would go 200 miles an hour. They would go in circles. They would go on road courses. And hundreds of thousands of people would get incredibly intoxicated while watching and screaming their fucking lungs out. Ladies and gentlemen, that sport of NASCAR has a great that has returned.
That's right.
Announcing on his Twitter this morning, a 6-week hiatus is done from an accident while snowboarding. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2020 season champion, Chase Elliott. How you doing, pal?
How's it going, guys?
Hey, sweet mustache, bro.
Whoa.
First things first. Is that how it normally look? Is that what you normally are, or do you have the 5 o'clock shadow with it, kind of just looking super cool?
Yeah, no, I like it to be just a little trashy, so it's good. We're headed in. Might as well come in with Splash this weekend, so I'm ready.
Okay, so you're back 6 weeks away. Is that how long it's been?
Yeah, it's been six weeks, so it's the first 4 were pretty slow. The last couple have gone by a little quicker. I was curious. I've watched a lot of the stuff on the Aaron Rodgers topic. It's funny. I tuned in. You guys are talking about that, so crazy stuff going on. Where's he going to land?
Well, that's interesting, isn't it, Chase? We should be talking about your massive comeback for NASCAR, which, by the way, race this weekend, Martinsville, Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1. 9 is back in the race. We cannot wait to watch that. Do you feel like, is there driver's rust or anything like that 6 weeks away? Are you playing on simulators? What are you doing while you can't really work out because of the injury? What was the injury, too?
Yeah, well, it was I had a couple fractures in the top of my tibia, so it was really more around my knee than it was, I guess, my lower leg. But
hey, hold on, I'm not a doctor. Tibia is this one?
Tibia is that one, yeah.
Holy shit, that's a pretty powerful one, right? Like shit.
Oh yeah.
I see people on Saturday nights. They just bang them off of each other's legs.
Right.
You know what I mean? UFC, it's just bang, bang, bang. That's powerful.
Didn't look like those guys. You know, those guys. They hit a good kick, and I've seen them break it in half. So unfortunately, it wasn't like that. So it was it could have been a lot worse.
Okay, it had to be incredibly painful though. What happened? Were we on a pipe? Were we jumping? Were we just on some fresh pow? What were we doing?
No, I wish I would. I've told this to my close friends, and obviously I'll tell you guys too, but I do not have a cool story for this. I was not in the park. I was not in the pipe. It was just it was just a perfect storm. My knee decided that was the ball game that day. So
damn.
It went down for the count.
Well, sorry to hear about that. Happy you're back. Are we going to take anything from this going forward? Because NASCAR, obviously incredibly pumped that you're back. The world of the sport is much better whenever you're in it. Are we never snowboarding again, or what are we thinking about?
No, I don't think I'm going to hang it up forever.
That a baby. Hey, that a baby.
Yeah.
Happy to hear that.
Yeah, I think you gotta live it, right? So I just obviously I hate that it happened, but I've been doing that for a long time. Been snowboarding a lot over the years. So you could trip and fall walking up the stairs and be out this weekend. So I think you have to live your life, and you gotta take a step out from this world. I mean, it can consume you in a lot of different ways. So, and I think that would go for a lot of sports, really. So, I think you have to have that disconnect, and snowboarding is certainly one of those for me. And I don't anticipate me skipping that because of all this. It's unfortunate, but we're on the back end now. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel. So
Hell yeah.
A lot of season left, which is good.
Hell yeah, and we're pumped that you're back there. How long you been driving? Whole life?
Pretty much my whole life. Yeah, I started racing go-karts and stuff when I was about 8. So yeah, it's much like anything, and probably more so nowadays, as we've seen with other sports too. Kids start this stuff so young, and if you don't, you can easily get behind, and you just develop those skills, and you learn these little things here and there, probably when you don't even realize you're learning them at a young age. So yeah, I've been driving for a long time. I've enjoyed it. It's been a fun road. Obviously nowadays it's pretty serious on the cup side, but yeah, I enjoy it, and going to ride the wave as long as they'll have me.
Were you just beating everybody whenever you were 8 years old and through high school? Did you know that you were going to be a professional racer? Because I think this is like the standard thing, right? And I'm in Indianapolis, so it's a little bit different with IndyCar. But like very young people are racing. There's a couple go-kart tracks here where you can go, and these carts are moving.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like these are like 35 mile an hour, I want to say, like 40 mile an hour carts while you're flying around. Like other places have, go-karts and bumper cars and things like that. Here it's like you see families with their kids training. Like it's open track time almost. And I'm in there packed. That is a small cockpit you guys are operating in. And I'm getting like burn from the seatbelt here, and then there'll be some 6-year-old or 7-year-old just bumping me out of the way, like racing, just absolutely crushing it. Have you been like that your whole life? Is your family in racing? Did your parents build the carts that you were driving? Because I think I've seen a couple of those documentaries as well. And did you know you were going to be a professional driver?
Yeah, no, that's interesting. I especially being up around Indy, I mean, yeah, certainly kids are racing go-karts at a really, really young age, and it was no different for...
Hey, they're good, though. They're good, though, too. These little fuckers are good.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it is...
Mario Kart.
They're a problem, dude. They're an actual problem out there.
It's super impressive, and you see that across all forms of different types of racing. I mean, as you go across the United States, there's different parts of the country that have more dominant racing series and different areas, and most of the time it really depends on where you grow up as to where and what path you choose to go race. Like, dirt racing might be really, really big in a certain part of the United States, and then to your point right there in Indy, you have a little bit of both, right? You have the IndyCar world, and they have some asphalt tracks that kids can go race on, and they also have a lot of dirt racing up around your area too. So it just depends on where you're from. But for me, yeah, I was I'm from Georgia. My dad raced for a long time, so certainly been around it my whole life. And where I lived, there was a certain type of car and series that was popular, and typically that popularity brings the most competitive field, and you want to be challenged. You want to find that competitiveness in your region. So everybody's path's a little different, but yeah, mine fortunately worked out and is able to at least, make a job out of it now. And,
make a job. You're coming back, and they're fucking celebrating it, pal.
Yeah.
You didn't just, hey, congrats, you did it.
Good.
Yeah, you did it. You're champion, bro. You're a champion at the highest level. You did it. I don't know. You snowboard. You're obviously naturally a race car driver, so you're, a little bit somewhere in there, right? We will assume.
Yeah.
When the fights happen in NASCAR, the internet loves it. I think your fans probably love it.
Incredible.
What is the stance from the league, I guess, on fighting? And what are your thoughts on it? And how much do you try to avoid that? Because it's always, we love it, but it always looks bad for both parties. Both parties end up getting blamed for it immediately. So it's not a fun thing, I don't think, for you guys, but we love watching it happen. What is NASCAR's stance on it? And what are your thoughts about it?
Yeah, look, it definitely is exciting, and I think people love it, and it gets people talking, which is a good thing. From a competitor standpoint, I do think there is I get it. Everybody wants us to fight and crash and all that stuff, especially people who don't follow racing or have much.
We don't want you to crash, bro.
No.
We don't want you to crash.
No.
We wish that you were on a half pipe with that snowboard and did a fucking McTwisty thing.
Yeah.
And we want you to do great.
I'm with you, but it definitely is. It is one of those things where people enjoy seeing it, but from a competitor standpoint, I do think there is a point that it becomes a distraction for you and your team to go perform well, and that's just life, right? When you're not thinking about what you need to be thinking about on the weekends, it's going to eventually have an impact on your performance. So
the little
you got to
things.
draw that line somewhere.
Oh, you're saying the little things lead to big things. Professional sports. You guys are athletes.
Listen, I've never been one to claim to be an athlete. Now, I don't think I'm very athletic, but it's
It's interesting.
That's a whole nother debate.
Because you're competing, it does take dexterity. There is a skill that you can practice and become better. It's a craft, but there's no real points to be scored. So I was a punter, so I'm the bottom realm, you know what I mean, of professional athletes and things like that.
I would say I'm right there with you. As a NASCAR driver, I'm right there with you.
Okay. Hey,
hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Do you play pickleball?
I've never played pickleball.
All right, punter would beat the fuck out of a NASCAR driver at pickleball. But,
not wrong.
But snowboarding, I can't stand up, so that's athletic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there is, I assume you're an athlete, and athletes are probably able to drive better than the non-athletes that are driving, if I had to guess, just because the competitive juices and things like that. Do you think that or no?
Man, if you saw some of the field and watched them dribble a basketball, you would potentially change your mind.
It's bad, huh?
Some of them are bad. I would like to think I'm not the least athletic in the field, but I wouldn't say I'm the most either. But yeah, man,
but on the flip side of that, there's a lot of people that can dribble basketballs really well.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like
through the legs.
But if they had to sit there for 3 hours, 3.5 hours, however long these fucking races are, and then just one slight boom, out and potentially in some deep shit.
Yeah, seriously.
You know,
so
there's a little bit of a difference conversation there depending upon how you judge an athlete. So you guys don't piss in the suit anymore. I heard there's like new science. And how long is this Martinsville race? Are you worried about how long it is, and how much weight do you lose?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I've actually been asked that a few times here lately, and I need to weigh myself in the summer. I would say my guess would be like 5 pounds or so, but I don't have a great number. But that's the biggest thing I feel like with racing is just the environment is super uncomfortable. It's very hot in the car, and you're certainly there for a long time. You don't have a lot of outside air moving around, so that physically, I think that's the toughest part that probably doesn't get understood enough, I guess, from a physical aspect. But yeah, it's one of those things that the more you do it, and I think you hit the nail on the head, it is a craft, right? And it's a very unique craft at that. It's not one that you can go to the sporting good store and pick up a race car and go practice. So it makes it difficult. But to answer your question about Martinsville, yeah, it's 400 laps, which typically the Martinsville races have been 500 in the past. So I'm glad that
a little baseball strategy here.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let's take 100 off.
Yeah, we're trying to cut down on that TV time. As y'all know, TV runs everything. So I think it's going to be tough for sure. I'd be lying if I didn't think it was going to be tough, but I have been, Chevrolet has a simulator we can get in there and kind of practice some of these things.
How real is that? How real is that? If I get a simulator, will I be able to tell if I could fucking cut it or not by hitting the apex of the turns? I drove a pace car before. Road course, Grand Prix, right here in Indy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Just the fact that you knew what an apex was is kind of impressive. So
Thank you.
You're already off to a good start.
Thank you, and I don't get any marbles either. I'm on the line. You know what I mean? I'm a driver out there, but I think I'm too big.
Yeah.
Is that it's not real though, because you can't feel? Because I guess there's something to people that can go above 180, people that can go below 180. I think there's like a cutoff. Some people can handle it, some people can't. Is that real?
The speed, actually, I think you become super accustomed to the speed. It's like, I tell a lot of people, it's like going down the highway. When you're going 80 and everybody
whoa. Speed limit's 55. Don't be a fucking asshole.
Okay, listen.
Yeah.
It depends on where you live, right?
So right. 70.
Yeah, you're right. On the interstate. If the speed limit's 75, obviously you're going to do 5.
85 too.
80.
Yeah.
So, comfortably at 80. Then at that point, everyone's going the same speed, and it's very much the same for us. I do feel like there is a sense of for a while, there's probably a thrill in the speed, but then after you kind of get used to that, I don't think that that's much of a thought, and it's more just about the, beating the next guy, the competition aspect of it. It's not so much. I would say most any NASCAR driver would tell you, or any race car driver in general would tell you, that the speed is not. It's not a thrill anymore. I mean, it's not really exciting. I think you get.
I watched this documentary on Mark Leclerc. He was this guy that was just climbing like the peaks of the highest mountains in the world, and he was just doing it with no strings on this ice pick. And then also that other guy that had the documentary, he was the freak.
Alex Honnold.
Alex Honnold. Like these.
I think I watched one of those.
Which one? The Alex Honnold one, the climbing one?
It was one of the ones that was on Netflix. I can't remember the name
Free
of the show,
Solo.
but that might have been it. I mean, they ended up. I assume he passed away. He was on a trip and
Leclerc.
never came home.
So that's the ice one. That's called the Alpinist is what that one's called.
Yeah,
that one came after Free Solo, who had Alex Honnold.
Yeah, and Alex Honnold was interviewed in The Alpinist.
And he won like an Oscar for that.
Mhm.
They won
Yep.
like some
Best
sort of
doc.
something for it. It was, but watching those humans operate is like, oh, they have no fear. Do you feel like you're one of those types of people? Because
No, I think it's very different. I don't think you're going to find me free climbing a icy canyon anytime soon. But
oh, you're soft. Okay, got it. We're aware that you're soft.
Definitely soft.
That's Honnold there.
You have to be a little messed up, I think, to find that fun, right? I mean,
Well, I think they have.
Off
They
base.
don't have the thing.
Yeah,
The fear.
fear complex or whatever in
Yeah.
the brain.
Yeah, so the only way they can really feel anything is like
They fall.
to
Well, yeah,
be
they feel
very
that.
close to fall. It's like I feel like they have no feelings, so it's like something in their brain is off a little bit. That's why I wonder with you guys, you're strapping yourself to rockets pretty much, flying around like this far from each other with things that have happened in the past. I think it's an incredible, admirable trait to be able to just say fuck it and go do it. So I think you're a little fucked up too, pal.
I appreciate it.
Pac-Man has
You're not the first person to tell me that.
in a good way. In a good way. That's a compliment, obviously. You heard the way I delivered it. If you were to write that out, though, people would say that would not be, and then that could potentially end up in a lawsuit. That's
Right. Has happened before.
that has happened before at this particular office. Pac-Man has.
2023, baby.
Hey, that's right. That's right.
Yep.
You know the deal, Chase. You know exactly the deal. Yep.
Yes, I do.
Pac-Man has a question for you.
Chase, I heard you say earlier the speed is not really what you looking at around the track. We're into speed, and we got a good car collection. When you're off of the track, what's your car collection look like? What you driving on a day-to-day basis? And when you want to step up the speed off the track, what you driving?
That's a great question, and this is not probably the norm. I think there are some guys that collect cars. I've just never been a car collector. I don't really have a collection of cars. The driving aspect and the racing has been my fix. That's been my speed fix forever. I've never really needed anything else.
So you're driving a
outside
minivan
of
out
the
there?
track.
Chase, you're driving a minivan out there?
Yeah. If Chevrolet sold a nice minivan, I'd consider it.
I think they do, actually.
Yeah,
I believe
they do.
Spice Adams had one. He was calling into our show from. I think they got the full
length sunroof.
Yeah, the whole thing. I think there's a
Full
couple.
blown.
Yeah, I think it's kind of.
Listen, the Tahoe is the new minivan.
Oh, you got any?
Tahoe is the new minivan.
What
Yeah,
are your
man,
family
you
life?
got
I should have looked into this. What's your family life?
You're looking at it right now. We're working at it.
Hey, how old are you?
27.
Congrats out there, bro. Live your life.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Live your life,
Hey,
dude.
thank you guys.
I couldn't even imagine what it's like for you too. Think about did you expect the reaction that you were coming back? I guess we should have known this. We don't follow NASCAR as closely. I know a couple people over in that world. We've had a couple cocktails with Kyle Busch a few different times, have turned on races, have watched races, have been interested, but don't follow the sport as closely as like other sports. Did you expect the reaction of your comeback to be as big as it feels like? People are fucking pumped, Chase. You're a dog, dude.
Yeah. People are probably more excited than I would be for me coming back. On the outside looking in, but no, they've been great, and just being back at the shop the last couple of days, and I've been removed from a lot of those activities, and just being around your peers and your teammates, and we go to battle every weekend for 38 weeks a year, right? It is a lot of time on the road, and these guys become your family. So when you get back and you hear people say, "Man, we're excited to have you back. We're looking forward to getting you back in the car," like that stuff's really cool, and that's been really nice. And the fans have been great, they've been super supportive too. And I hope we can put on a good show and get back going this weekend. and have a good run. It's gonna be tough, but I'm looking forward to getting back on the road.
Is this racetrack your style of racetrack? Is this a good one?
It has been good to us in the past. We won there in 2020, so that was a good run for us. We were okay there last season, and this is the first time that the series has gone there this year. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting.
Let's go win. Why not?
Come on, Chase.
Why not?
Yeah, let's get a dub.
And then when you're doing that burnout, you're going to feel so cool. Afterwards, how cool is it? You just feel like the coolest human alive whenever you're doing that in the middle of somebody's track. Like, yeah, clean up this rubber for the next year. I'm going to fucking go ahead I conquered this track. Is that what that is, the feeling of that?
Yeah, absolutely. That is your time. You have earned your right to tear up the grass or the pavement or whatever as much as you want. I mean, it's you earn that right. So yeah, pretty much, you're right.
And if it wasn't you, if somebody else won, they'd be proving it right in your face.
That's right.
That they deserve it.
That's how it works.
You're a drifter. You're a good drifter. Do we get figure eights? What do we do? Straight circles? What are we doing?
Not by trade, but yeah, I like to switch it up. I mean, sometimes
there's the Napanon.
Boom.
Yeah, there it is. There she is. Beat the old 1-2 that day. That was good. It's always good when you beat your buddy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Anytime you beat your friend, he runs second. We always like to remind each other of that.
Yeah, and then as you should.
Yeah, no, it totally depends. But I wouldn't say I'm a drifter by trade, but I can make it work when I need to.
What do we drink afterwards? Obviously, get 5 pounds worth of water back in you. Depending on the track, you're drinking something that they have. We having any beers afterwards? Celebration? Are we a whiskey fan?
Considering I'm sitting here at a Coca-Cola shoot, fixing to take pictures for Coca-Cola.
Oh my God, those Cokes are so good.
Coke Zero, old Coke,
so smooth.
Yeah. I better plug them. But, the Coke then leads to extracurricular activities after Coke. Then at that point,
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah. Talking about Coca-Cola, just because,
someone,
whenever they're dropping that into commercials, best Coke ever. It's like, all right, I've heard so many people say that in parties, in bathrooms, in stalls right next to me. I don't know if that's possible. But we've all heard it. Coca-Cola is what he was talking about. Don't be assholes on the internet. Ty has a question for you, Chase.
Chase, I think most casual NASCAR fans or people who don't really watch at all, one of the issues is how much parity there is. There's been so few guys. I mean, you got, obviously the Intimidator. I got him right here just to remind me every day. But you got guys like him and then, Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon, guys like that who kind of transcended the sport. But now it seems like, while a lot of people know you guys, someone new is winning almost every weekend. Do you think you guys are going to get to a point where someone kind of transcends the sport again and it's very clearly obvious, oh, this guy's head and shoulders better than everybody else?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I honestly think the answer to that is no. And I think that's because every time we have a new rule change and we have this new car come out that, has tried to level the playing field, the more you level the playing field, the harder it's going to be different. And the reason those guys were such icons is because they were different over the years. They were very good race car drivers, and they also had very good equipment to drive. And those two things combined at the right time led to their dominance. And I think right now the cars are becoming so much the same that it's becoming very difficult for drivers to be different. And the harder it is for us to be different, the harder it's going to be to pass up through the field and do all those things and really dominate. So, yes, I think there's going to be, time periods where a guy might go on a hot streak and win 2 or 3 races in a month or in 2 months. But those consecutive championships that we saw out of Jimmy and 7 championships from Dale and Richard and those guys, I think that's going to be really hard to do, and especially in a short period of time, just because the more that the cars are so close, there's so many good drivers that it's going to continue to be more and more challenging to do that. Great question, though, but I think the answer is no.
Okay, Ty brings up a great point. A lot of engineers, right? That's the big thing in IndyCar. Who has the best team almost? The engineers, the brains behind it that can kind of cook everything, and I think they're trying to gain just a little bit of an edge. You guys doing the same thing with NASCARs? I assume the engineers are very important to that whole process. And what type of rules have they added that have made the cars like so similar? It's a limit on how many horsepower. It's the build of the car. What are those types of things that you think affect it all?
If any part on the car that you can see, there's a rule that is surrounded it, and that's anything from how the engines are built to how the bodies look.
Hey, because people were, hold on though, because there were some real geniuses that were able to put together some engines differently than everybody else. Tim Allen out there in the garage putting together his hot rod. There's other people that do that. They do it different ways and they find out little tricks and they steal some horsepower. That was like a weapon the teams used to have, right? And now it's kind of, they kind of get rid of all that?
It totally was. And there were, guys that really changed the game over the years in different areas, and engine building was certainly one of them. But yeah, now there's just so many specs and rules that all these parts and pieces have to abide by and be built by, that it lands you in a very similar position car to car. And also at the same time, it makes what might have seemed like a very small advantage 10 or 15 years ago, the tiniest of advantages now shows a bigger difference on track than it used to because of the similarities. So it's just changed, and as time has gone on, I think everyone kind of knows what they want to make their car go faster, like what those magic knobs are to make it quicker. It's just a matter of finding a way to do that, and that process is becoming more and more.
So what is
confusing,
it? What's the advantages
political.
then? It's like strategy, wheelbase, pit stops, driving. Like what are the advantages? Because it seems like if everybody has the same weapon, so like if every quarterback could throw the exact same ball. Okay, then like how do you make because that's what the car is, right? They're all pretty much the exact same. What are the little advantages that like good strategy, I guess, is the biggest part of it?
Yeah, strategy is a huge piece of it.
Pit stops, that's that whole thing, gas, that type of shit.
Yeah, that you do need gas to make it to the end.
Yeah, but when, right? Don't some people roll the dice, go a little bit longer than other people, and it puts them in different positions? Is that a part? That's how you gain the advantage, I guess.
It is, and certainly from a driving standpoint, I mean, you can still find advantages driving, and you're trying to push that limit just a little further than the next guy. But yeah, strategy plays a huge role in the races, and when to pit, when to put on tires, all those things, and it changes throughout an event too. But aerodynamic advantages over the years have become king. Aero is something that's talked about every weekend, and how the bodies are built, how they're manufactured. Finding advantages on the body of the car to manipulate the way the air flows is probably the biggest piece of the puzzle, I would say.
Aerodynamics matter. That's why I used to shape my right leg, when I was punting. It was just
cut through the wind.
Smoother, yeah. I got that big fan and put some color in it, just like they do in those car commercials. And I just swung my leg a bunch of times. Left leg out of the wind, right leg in the wind, because that's the only one that matters. And I found out that if I shave the outside 3/4, it's like putting on a Lambo hood.
Cap.
So that's what I did. It worked for me. So, I guess aerodynamics work in everything, Chase. And that certainly makes sense when you're talking about racing cars. Tone Diggs has a question for you.
Speaking of strategy, I feel like every race that I've seen over the last couple years, like 2 laps left, the person in first is getting passed by second and third because they're drafting with each other. Like, is that strategy there that, like, does anyone want to be in the lead with 2 laps left, or is that like a position you want to be in, or would you rather be chasing in second or third behind?
I think it depends on the track that you're racing at. It sounds like you've been watching Daytona or Talladega.
Talladega.
Super track. I'm a super track guy.
Yeah. So if you're leading those races, there's two strategy sides to that. One, to be leading is obviously a good thing. If the race runs around to the checkered flag, you probably don't want to be leading. I do think the guy in second has a good advantage. The problem with that is if someone wrecks between the start-finish line of the the start of the last lap, and then by the time you get back around, the race ends.
Hey, why don't you guys stop doing that? Wrecking?
Hey, I understand. I've been voting for that for a long time, and it just doesn't seem to work.
I don't know how you guys avoid some of those.
Yeah.
There's some like highlights.
Yeah, there's some close calls.
No.
Just cars like going over, and like you can't, as as you're watching at home, you're like, holy shit. And then they show like a sky cam, and it's like you literally just squeaked by with like a eighth of an inch.
Yeah.
And if not, your car's potentially going into a full.
Yeah.
It is what you sign up to do, and what you all sign up to do is actually bananas. I mean, it is a real thing. Connor has a question for you, Chase, and then we'll let you go. Obviously, a very important day. Nine's back, baby.
Hell yeah.
Nine's back with a cool mustache. Here, go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Chase, I assume you probably saw some of these shows on Netflix, like Full Swing and Breaking Point, and obviously the Formula One show. Has there been a conversation amongst you and the peers, like, hey, to get more eyes on this, what if we did some sort of show and kind of follow each driver throughout the season?
Yeah, we've kind of done a form of that, but definitely would love to see it on the Netflix level. You know, I think what Drive to Survive did for F1 really led to Full Swing, right? I think it would be a huge home run if they could sell that and pitch that to Netflix. You know, and that's such a great platform, and I do
Cool
think
dudes over there? Cool dudes?
Where at now?
NASCAR.
Oh, I mean, some of them are okay.
That helps.
Some of them are okay, but to answer your question, yeah, I think it would be really good, and it would, you know, just tell the story more. I think that's what it did for F1, right? Is there's such a story behind what goes on every week that you would have never known by just watching a race. And they have some great characters too, right? You know, those personalities of those guys made that thing special. So I think it'd be cool if they can get it on that type of platform. I think it'd be a big deal.
We'd love to watch your episode, pal. Sounds like you're an absolute legend. Congrats on the quick recovery from something that sounds devastating. Congrats on coming back. And let's go get a win in Martinsville. Hey, how about this? You go ahead and win that thing? Should we do top three? Ooh.
Gotta win it.
First race back.
Gotta win it.
Yeah,
Gotta win it.
one.
First race back, though.
Gotta win
Top
it.
three is a big deal, though, isn't it?
That is a big deal over there.
Points.
Imagine if he comes to second, his friend wins, too.
Yeah.
Oh
All right,
man,
top two.
that would be a bummer for sure.
He don't want to come in.
We're not talking about stage 1 and stage 2. We're talking about that. I don't like that rule change, Chase. We're talking about the whole fucking race.
Yeah, how do you feel? Is that on every race, the stage thing?
Oh yeah, we got stages every week. You want to win stage 3. For me, points don't matter now. I'm so far out. So the win is the only option for us.
If you're not first, you're last.
Hell yeah.
And with that being said, you get first this weekend. We'll give $100,000 to a charity of your choice. The world is better that you're back in the NASCAR seat. We can't thank you enough for joining us today, brother.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Enjoyed it. Enjoy your show, and best of luck leading into the upcoming football season and all the off-season shenanigans going on.
Well, lawsuit. You can say good luck with the lawsuit if you want.
Mm-hmm.
Or that.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2020 champion of NASCAR, Chase Elliott. Thank you. Pretty cool dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, the man. Great stash.
Great stash. And you said he likes to keep it a little trashy.
Yeah, with the shadow.
I like that. From Georgia. His dad should have done the research. It's on me. Bad hosting. His dad, NASCAR legend, like 50 years racing or something.
Oh,
Really?
Damn.
50 years in racing. I believe. Who?
Bill
Elliott?
Bill Elliott. Yeah.
I remember when Will used to fucking just spin that thing.
Hell yeah, running with Bobby Labonte and the boys.
Hell yeah.
Mark Martin used to have the fucking, they go at it.
I'll tell you what, every once in a while, I'll just pop on a race and I'll start watching it. And you can turn it on at a part that's incredibly boring, where they're just, no matter what the race is. I've tried F1, IndyCar, I think is the same.
All of them.
NASCAR, same thing. Racing as a whole, as a sport. You turn it on and there's nothing going on. It is tough, okay? You watch just 4 straight laps of nothing happening, and they're just like, oh, he's going in for pit. It's like, I feel like I'm watching practice right now. Like they're just taking some hot laps around there. I don't want to sound like rude or anything, but if you turn on and there's some fucking real racing going on and some action, and you just so happen to get maybe a yellow or I mean, there's some real a start maybe coming back out of there.
Yeah, I'm watching the Super Tracks, fucking Daytona, Talladega. He knew.
You said that you didn't like the way these stages are changing everything. If you're in second place, you're probably gonna win, not first place, the way it's set up.
I mean, start the race, you finish the race. What are we fucking restarting 6 times for?
Coach Diggs loved.
Oh yeah. That was their tradition because, they had me when they were younger, so they would go out and party on Saturday night, and then they would take naps on Sunday. They'd sit me in front of the TV and watch fucking cars go around in circles.
Well, 9's back.
It's in your blood.
9's back, baby.
That is the thing about racing, too. Like, best part of it sometimes is when they're in the cities, like when they're doing those F1 in whatever track.
IndyCar was in Nashville, I think.
Yes, yeah, and they had like the track on some streets, right?
That's sweet looking.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Yeah,
that's a cool thing.
Yeah, that's what they should.
F1 does Miami, Vegas.
NASCAR, I think, does the Vegas. I think they do Vegas.
They have
a track there, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just can't do it. I'd love to.
What's your problem?
Any kind of race.
Chase Elliott just gave us a great interview.
Well, I was gonna say, if he's in contention, like I'll check it out. But outside,
So he
of
wants
that,
to send a text. Hey, Chase is racing.
Yeah.
Like you said, funny car John Force was your.
No, I used to be the big whatever Smoke Stewart was, and then he blasted that kid and killed him. So I had to stop watching.
That was tough. That Depot get up. Come on.
Rest in peace.
Nothing
That
better.
is a very sad
Yeah, it's
situation.
incredibly sad. That's why I had to
That was a
fucking
sprint
retire
car race
from it.
here in Indiana.
Yeah, Smoke's an Indiana guy.
Yes.
I was more hurt that he didn't have one of the new Corvettes.
Who? This guy?
Chase?
Yeah, minivan.
By Chevrolet.
Yeah, because those new Corvettes, that's what I drove as a pace car driver for Grand Prix here in Indianapolis. Whoever was supposed to do it backed out late.
Are you kidding me?
Late.
What?
I got like a Hail Mary call, like, hey.
Jesus Christ, McAfee, we need you.
Is there any legit? It was like that. It was like, is there any chance you can get to the track tomorrow at like 1 o'clock to pass this like certification that Chevy would have to give you to be the pace car driver for this Saturday's race? I'm like, yeah, I think I can figure that out. Brand new vet. This thing was
clean,
nasty. I can drive a stick, obviously, so that helped out with the whole process there. But yeah, so I had to pass the test. I had to impress them. I showed up in a tank top, obviously. They had no idea who I was. They did know who the person who was supposed to be doing it was.
Sure.
Oh.
That person backs out. They had no clue who I was, local person. So the Indianapolis Motor Speedway basically called me and asked me to do it. It was awesome. I was in there with Ari Leindijk, who I believe at the time had the fastest recorded lap at the Indy 500. The Indy 500 is like 100 and some years old or whatever. So he was sitting passenger seat, and I was like learning racing because it was a street course. There was like 13 turns, I do believe.
Unreal.
Yeah, it was like, and I was really good. It was a go-kart.
Yeah.
But I was with a fucking Corvette, and I assume that I would not be able to win any of those races, just because that kid's been racing since he's 8 years old.
Forever.
He's been learning leverage and turns and setup and speed and shifting his whole life or whatever. But I enjoy getting out there. I really do. You said we like speed. Well, that's why I bought that Shelby, 600 and some horsepower.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I can go take this thing to a track, maybe drift it a little bit and do it all. That'd be a fun profession, but also insane, I think, back.
I got a buddy named Cheddar who does.
Shout out, Cheddar.
Shout out to Cheddar.
Cheddar Bob?
Yeah, Cheddar Bob. He does drifting and four-wheeler, but he is the most unathletic human in the world.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
That's
so you
good
just
to
said
know.
that guy wasn't an athlete. It sounded like you said, because that conversation happened in the middle of it. Sounded like that's why that was kind of sitting in your brain there.
Yeah, but
Cheddar, you thought, as he was talking about, like, some of these guys can't dribble a basketball, and you thought to yourself, fucking Cheddar can't.
Yeah.
I can't do
He
anything.
kind of can barely walk.
He can fucking drive a car from here to California.
How about some of those stunt drivers? Like the way they can
like-
manipulate vehicles
Oh,
and
yeah.
shit like that. Now, Jay Leno was in a car with one,
Couple times.
and it just rolled over 14 times, and he almost died.
Yeah.
That was a professional driver.
Yeah.
Some of those people use these cars as a goddamn tool almost.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be a fun thing to be able to do. These NASCAR drivers are very talented. We're obviously big fans of Chase Elliott. Congratulations to Chase.
Good boy, Chase. They are much more comparable, though, to like the climbers you're saying versus like basketball and football players.
Very much. Yeah, that's the trait that they have that
Yes.
not everybody else has. We have breaking news.
Ooh.
The Washington Commanders are officially sold, it does appear.
Wow.
Dan Snyder has reached an agreement in principle to sell the Commanders for $6 billion.
Damn.
What?
Billy to a group led by Philadelphia 76ers co-owner Josh Harris. Harris's group includes billionaire Mitchell Rales, I think of Pittsburgh, and former NBA star Magic Johnson, who was on the Today Show a couple weeks ago saying, Dan, come on, please bless us with an opportunity.
Dan blessed them.
Normally, Dan certainly did. And normally when Dan's being talked about on any show, everybody's saying, Dan Snyder is a fucking rat. Okay? That's what everybody else is saying.
Scumbag.
Not me.
You're not saying it.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying normally. So whenever he got a chance to see Magic Johnson on one of the biggest morning shows saying, Mr. Dan Snyder is a good man and hopefully he'll bless us. I wonder if that was a little bit of gamesmanship from Magic to kind of get this deal over the finish line. Because allegedly Bezos was going to be in, Bezos wasn't going to be in, Bezos was allowed to be in if he wanted to be in, and then Bezos was officially out. We wondered if Dan Snyder, just out of spite, was going to hold on to this thing because everybody kind of wants him to sell. Instead, Magic, Josh, and Mitchell Rails, I assume among others, are able to get into the Commanders game. $6 billion for the team. They're going to have to build a new stadium. Are they going to change the name? We don't know. But congrats to all parties, including the Commanders fans.
Yeah.
New money in the NFL is good for the league. Tone, your initial thoughts?
No, yeah, the last thing you just said there was probably the people who are just most ecstatic is the Commanders fans, because they have dealt with potentially one of the worst owners of all time for a long time.
There's been numerous conversations where we thought Dan Snyder was either going to be forced out of the NFL or he was going to sell the NFL to make his life less hectic. Remember, this man has been scrutinized by every single human that has ever had a microphone in front of him because of the way he operated and did his business. Just a couple weeks ago, there was an article written about how much money he is going to make from when he bought the Commanders to when he's going to sell it, all the while being one of the worst business people of all time. He is never talked about in a positive light, so we thought there was a chance that if he was offered multiple billions of dollars, he'd say, you know what, I want to make my life easier. I don't want to deal with the bullshit anymore. I'll just ride around on my goddamn yacht, park it in Napoleon's Island, and this will be my life now. That's just what I do. But there was also a thought that Dan Snyder doesn't do that. Dan Snyder loves being in the fucking fire. Dan Snyder stands in the paint and tries to foul people as they're going for dunks just so he can get dunked on yet again. That is what Dan Snyder does. He's officially out of the NFL. Good news. And congrats, I guess, to the Snyders for getting $6 billion for a team that, if you read all the exposés, was run relatively poorly and hasn't had success in a long time. But the fan base is massive.
Yeah, and Josh, Mitch, and Magic now immediately become babyface. Like, for them, they get to come in, there's a report card that they can actually look at and be like, okay, this is what our players need. This is the stuff that they've been lacking over the last, I don't know how many years. And they can basically change what we think about when we think Washington, which is the poop pipes and the bad football team, and Dan Snyder being the worst owner in the NFL.
Poop pipes were the ones that were bursting in the stadium multiple times throughout a season because the stadium hadn't been updated in so long. People were sitting there watching this abysmal Commanders team that had numerous exposés written about it on a very, very, very public newspaper, and these people are still fans of the team. They're saying, damn it, you guys aren't making it easy for us to be fans of your brand. They pay tickets. Hey, we're through thick and thin. They go watch a game. As they're watching their team get beat, a poop pipe right above them bursts and toilet water dumps on their head.
Drenched in poop.
That was happening at the stadium.
Happened in a suite.
Couple different times.
Yeah.
I don't know, the banister falling, almost killing Jalen Hurts.
That's right.
You'll be a power move.
What's that?
These new owners come in. They just $6 billion for the team. They're going to have to build a new stadium. Power move to come in and be like, hey, let's go get fucking Lamar Jackson right now.
Why not? Make a splash. Build a franchise. Change it all. What's your face going to be around here? We got the most exciting quarterback on earth. Is this quarterback-led league? Yep. We got a guy who's just nobody else can. Not a bad play. Pac-Man, how do you feel about that thought?
Not a bad play. I like that idea. New ownership, new everything. And Magic Johnson coming in, he won championship everywhere he don't.
Love star players.
The Dodgers won championship. The Lakers, the women's
LA Sparks,
Michigan State,
LAFC,
Sorry.
Everything he's did has been big, even to TJR Fridays, to Burger King.
Hell yeah.
Magic got the answer to everything. So I'm excited to see how the Commanders do up under new ownership.
And to expound upon that point, and what Tone was saying, Lamar, here we go.
Lamar.
This is business.
He doesn't have to move his house.
Here it is. This is business.
Close to where he is.
You know what I mean? Hey, I see what you guys did. I respect it. I earn it. I think I would be a very welcomed addition to your city, to your team. I would love to help this next chapter, this next era, build not only on the fan base that you already have, but a brand new one that's coming. If I come here, I think it's good business. I think it's good everything. Why don't we do that? I could be right now. The face is Ron Rivera. No offense, Ron Rivera. Hasn't had success in a long time.
No.
But good guy. We love Ron Rivera.
Right.
There's no way you can have success in that building. There's not a shot at Ron Rivera. But he's the only thing you really think of. Whenever you think of the Commanders, it's like you put somebody like Lamar on that team. Lamar's now the face.
Their defense is good.
And you have something to build around.
Yeah.
Terry McLaurin's still there. Running back's still there.
Brian Robinson.
You got.
But you bring in Lamar, that's a whole different team now.
Yeah, it's all around Lamar.
Yeah.
And the defense, you just, hey, fuck.
The defense is good.
Keep the defense doing what they're doing.
Well, and that's what.
That would be a brilliant play, new money coming into the NFL. And also, that goes to our point about these guaranteed contracts with these new owners, like the Walton family. They have like $37 billion or something. I forget.
30. I think it's 37 more than Tepper. They're the richest by a lot.
$1 billion is so much money.
Yeah.
It is so much money. Just think about what 1 million is. And that's so much money.
That's a ton of money.
Yeah.
But to these billionaires, especially like 30 some, 40, 50, however many billions they have, like, okay, so this business that I just invested in, that I just bought for $6 billion, you're telling me if I put 200 million more into it, I'll have like the key position kind of figured out?
Yeah, locked down.
Okay, I think I'm kind of pot committed at this point with $6 billion in there. Another 200 million? I think we can do that. I think that's going to continue to happen.
Oh, yeah.
As these uber wealthy people get into the NFL and want the NFL or want to have success quickly in the NFL.
Plus, isn't he part owner of the Sixers, correct? So he's used to fully guaranteed contracts.
We are being told now, hold up, wait a minute.
What?
Ian Rappaport's saying that a deal is not done. That is the
Oh, jeez.
What?
Come on.
Ian.
I don't know.
That one said exclusive.
Zito said, we'll have Ian Rappaport in 10 minutes.
Okay, so.
We don't know if Ian has reported that. Zito's saying Ian has not confirmed it. Okay, there we go.
Any of the inside?
Okay, so we don't know. We don't know what's real and what's not real. Ian has not reported it. He will be joining us in 10 minutes. AJ Hawk will be on the other side. That's a big piece of information for Sportico just to put out there.
Yeah,
for sure.
They might have found out first. They said exclusive.
Yeah.
Put that tweet back up, can we?
Maybe
Pulling
now,
it up.
now Rap Sheet's reaching
I was
out.
going to say, Sportico, you'd think would have boots on the ground.
Yeah.
That's business, right?
Yeah.
That's there.
Exclusive. Dan Snyder has reached an agreement in principle to sell the Commanders for $6 billion to a group led by Philadelphia. Harris's group includes Josh Harris reaches $6 billion. They even made a graphic.
Well, and there's no per, so they're reporting it themselves.
Yes.
All right, so we'll have Ian Rappaport joining us on the other side. Why do you let business come in and just...
Yeah, did one of those guys...
Hey, Ian, what's the deal,
Did
pal?
one of them own Sportico?
Yeah, we could look into who's doing business with who over there at Sportico.
Yeah.
Magic
Interesting.
and everything. You never know.
Yeah, Magic's probably running that Twitter account now.
It might be.
That looks like a Magic Johnson graphic.
It does. It does.
Doesn't it?
Word art.
Holy shit, you're right. All right, Ian Rappaport will join us in 10 minutes. AJ Hawk will join us in 5. Then we have some conversations to be had about a lot of things. Houston's in a lot of convos right now.
Crazy.
And we have a source says, it's not proper English. Our source says have given us some information we're allowed to say about that whole thing. Now, our source says are named Michael Lombardi.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And he's tied in.
Yeah.
We would think.
To say the least.
Not able to be on the program today because he's traveling. He also pissed off a lot of Ohio State people is what he said. But I think what he said was probably what he was hearing from other people. That's why whenever he says something, he's got people in every building pretty much.
Yeah. Mambo ain't just talking to talk.
Yeah. Well, he does.
Sometimes he does.
He does speak as like a matter of fact.
For sure. But
Like,
he does. He is connected and plugged in.
Everywhere.
With everyone everywhere.
So whenever we text him like, hey, you know, people are saying that you said something like this. And what and then he gives actual answer. It's like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because he knows.
He said that about Darius Slay being shopped, and then 2 days later he requested a trade, and then 2 days after that.
Oh, would you look at that? He tweeted.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
6 of these at the end of them. Oh, would you look at that?
Casario's the New England guy.
Always has been, which is a part of the conversation. All right, let's take a break. On the other side, we'll learn some more information. Are the Commanders sold or not? Ian Rappaport, AJ Hawk. Also, some of your phone calls on the 5-hour Energy phone line. Been hammering the berries lately. Hammering the berries.
Delicious.
Call 1-833-432-3663.
Nice. Boom. Got it down.
1-833-432-3663. Also, 1-833-4-DO. All right, can't wait to chat with you. Last day of the week. Remember, we're off tomorrow because Nick's getting married. Dad, baby Nick.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Nick. All right, be a friend. Tell a friend something nice. Take 5. Obviously, this is a conversation starter for everybody when they're talking about the dynasty, and there's still Raiders fans that are pissed off about this. Here's the game plan. Go out there in the middle of a snowstorm and make a kick that you're not supposed to make at all from 45 yards.
This is the Patriots season on the line.
Do you remember this moment right here in your head? Were you scared to death? Were you fucking pumped?
I would say I was probably more scared to death as I'm watching the Tuck Rule review and realizing, holy shit, we get the ball back. Oh, yeah, by the way, it's coming all down to you, man.
This will be a 45-yard attempt. That's Vinatieri's luck from this distance of late.
Once I got out on the field, I really had three thoughts. First and foremost, try to attack the ball, but stay light on your feet. Just like anybody, you're running on ice. If your cleats don't stick, you're falling on the ground, and then the ball's going to end up hitting your center right in the back of the head. I wasn't thinking about missing 4 of the last 5, if that's truly what was going on. For me, it was all about, hey, you know, these guys aren't going to be able to get a good rush, get it straight and get it above the line of scrimmage. And thank goodness, as it left and I saw that they didn't block it, then it was all about, I don't know if it's going to have enough distance in this snow, you know, let's hope for the best. And I really didn't know until the referees at the back of the end zone raised their hands. I couldn't really see it. Couldn't tell if it was good or not.
Hell yeah, because it's a snow globe. What a kick. What a moment. Obviously, that would go on to launch a dynasty that the NFL will never see again or before. What a kick. What a moment. Here's an overtime. You got to make another one.
Substantially easier kick. Not just because of the distance, but we called a timeout. We cleaned a bunch of ground. This is the one time that a coach actually icing me probably benefited us, right? Because it gave my offensive lineman with the big size 16 cleats to get out there and move a little bit more ground. And, you know, not to say a game winner's ever easy, but this one compared to the one quarter before that was substantially different.
So you're coming out here sighing a little bit of relief. Oh, thank God. I can see the ground. I'm not going to fall.
Right.
We've already done this.
Exactly.
This is no problem.
Tied.
And then you murder that ball dead center. And then obviously in the Super Bowl, you have like a 49-yarder that you hit at the top of the upright. Couldn't have been a better ball, I don't think. You hit it cleaner. You have something inside of you, okay, that not a lot of people have. And Joe Burrow seemingly is a guy that has it. What is that?
I would love to tell you that I was born with, or I developed the ability to, you know, be a clutch under pressure. I do think that there's certain people that are born with the want or the ability to say, Michael Jordan, you know, Tiger Woods, Mariano Rivera. These guys are, and ladies, are the type of people that go, I want the game coming down to me. I want to be the reason, LeBron, you know, I want to be the reason why we win or lose. I was kind of that same person, you know, playing soccer as center midfield, and in baseball, I either wanted to pitch or catch. I'd leave it there. I know what you're thinking. Knock it off. I know you. Anyway, but I always wanted to, you know, be in the middle of the game and be the reason why. So once I get to football, obviously 59 minutes of the game, I'm standing on the sideline, but I guess this is the one opportunity that I can put exclamation on the game or the icing on the cake or whatever you want to do.
Definitely the biggest and best game to date this particular NFL season was the Minnesota Vikings traveling up to Buffalo. Patrick Peterson putting the game away with an interception. I believe Josh Allen's like 0 for 4 in his last 4 overtime games. Not great. But here in the end, 2nd and 10, minute 15 left, down 3. Josh Allen throws a pick to Patrick Peterson going into the game. We didn't know if Josh Allen was going to be playing or not. He looked healthy to me. He looked like he was able to throw the ball. He got hurt when he was trying to punch out a terrible interception from the other team. I guess he got re-hurt, but he went back on the field. The fumble at the goal line at the very end of the game is obviously nightmare fuel forever. Chris Sims kind of apparently said that the center maybe had a bad snap. It's always interesting to see whose fault it was, because who knows. But nonetheless, in a gotta-have-it situation, the Vikings get a touchdown on the defensive side of the ball after Kirk Cousins gets stopped on a goal line stand by the Buffalo Bills, in which the Buffalo Bills defense was supposed to put a picture of it on the fucking wall in the building, where they had 2 tries from a fucking inch line and did not make it in. Instead, Vikings get a touchdown on a bobbled exchange. Shout out to A.Q. Shipley and Drew Stanton. Then Josh Allen goes right down the field. Now, Gabe Davis's catch, allegedly, Walt Anderson says, not an actual catch. We should have stopped it and reviewed it. Yeah, you should have. You're the only people that can do it in under 2 minutes. Why is that a thing? Bill Belichick's asking a question. We're all echoing the same sentiment. Can't have this happen, especially in the biggest game of the year. The Vikings and the Bills, 2 wagons playing each other. The Vikings are very new to being the team in the NFC North, but the entire country needs to recognize that they are the team in the NFC North and a problem. This can't happen. Obviously, Walt Anderson said this is an incompletion and they would have overturned it. And who knows what happens on 3rd down. Will the Bills get in? Who knows? Vikings get stopped with like 40-some seconds left at the goal line, staying there. Damn. What a win for the Bills. Yeah, 48 seconds left. What a win for the Buffalo Bills. And then a Colts game starting at the same time.
Yeah.
So I flip over to the Colts game at that time. Other TV has Red Zone on it. All of a sudden, they're back there again with the Vikings thing. I'm like, holy shit. I think the world just has to recognize that this is a new Vikings team. This is not the old Vikings team. This is a new Vikings team. And I think a lot of it revolves around Justin Jefferson is different. Everybody knows he's different. Defenses look to guard him different. 193 yards yesterday and a tud, including this 4th and 18 catch that is going to go down as a catch of the year. Even with Diggs' catch earlier in this game, Justin Jefferson taking that thing right out of Lewis's hands and then somehow keeping it off the ground there, into his stomach. 4th and 18, got to have it down for it. I mean, what a play, what a game. This dude's different, AJ. This dude is different, and it's awesome to watch.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh! Tried. That's a good one to win on.
Hey,
Why?
let's go! This show fucking stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
AJ, never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it!
What the fuck are you doing?
Boston
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Knicks Getting Hitched Thursday, April 13th, 2023. Hour 2 of this program starts now. Love is in the air because one of our own is getting married this weekend back in the beautiful city of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We're incredibly proud of that man. He runs the audio every single day. He's been here since day one. Friend of mine since high school, Paisano, Nick Marolda. Congratulations, Nick.
Way to go, Nick. You did it.
Hey, we're proud of you, Nick.
You did it.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks.
Hey, no problem. Can't wait for your speech. You're going to kill it. It's going to be fantastic. The weekend is all about celebrating you and your lovely bride. Make sure you enjoy it every once in a while. The Talks the Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn, Cowboys Tone Diggs is here, and 14-year NFL corner and a host of a Twitter Q&A at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. All you got to use is the hashtag AskPack. That's hashtag AKSKPAC.
Hell yeah.
Hashtag AskPack, and you will be able to hopefully get your question answered by the man himself, the legend that is Pac-Man Jones. Now, why are we doing this? Well, he's got to drive all the way back.
That's right.
Got a trip.
And he's got Tech Joe here.
Go!
So he's got time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Joe's always thinking, so there's not much, you can't talk to him as much because he's already thinking of the next thing.
Yeah, the convos with Joe. Joe's already asked all the questions that Joe needs to have.
Bingo.
Joe's big fucking brain already has all the answers that he needs to have. Now, Tech Joe looks incredibly sporty today. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Oh, yeah.
Don't let him fuck around on that Thunderbolt court. You might get got, out of nowhere
Pac-Man
by Tech Joe. But you will be on your phone. And
Hold on.
What's that?
What the fuck did you say?
I mean, word on the street is that
hashtag
Joe,
Axe Connor.
Yeah.
Word on the street is Tech Joe beat Pac-Man in pickball yesterday.
No. Word on the street that he almost passed out.
Okay.
Oh.
Fair enough.
That's the
We
word
thought
on
he
the
passed you
No,
in
I
Thunderbolt.
beat him the first game.
And then the second game.
He's like, I'm like, man, you all right? And then the ball went in.
Well, Tech Joe's brain is so big, his lungs are obviously small.
Right.
I mean, that's just, you lose one sense, you gain another.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way it is for old Tech Joe. But nonetheless, on the ride back to his home for the weekend, all you got to do is tweet #AskPack. And starting at 4:30, he'll be answering everybody. That's an incredible thing. I'm excited for this. I'm pumped to hear the stories and tales and the answers that come out of this, Pack.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth. So.
Yeah, I'm already thinking of questions.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm jumping in.
Yeah, I'm going to be in there.
Yeah, I want some Jeff Fisher stories.
Hey, what you're going to notice is it's going to get a little difficult. It's going to get a little difficult, and you'll feel bad because when it updates, it's the most recent tweets, but then there'll be like tweets from like 5 minutes ago that somebody put out. They were certainly in there quicker and a bigger, like more excited about it.
Yeah.
But their tweets maybe don't even get seen. The questions on Twitter kind of will come quick, and we want to let you know we're thankful that you're doing it, pal.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, joining us from an attic in Ohio is a man who might have some answers to a report that just broke this morning from Yahoo Sports. Ladies and gentlemen, he's a college football national champion and Super Bowl champion, Aaron Rodgers' best friend, the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, and a man who knows everything about every situation going on with Aaron, the Packers, and the Jets, AJ Hawk. AJ, there's another news story that developed since we've been live, but we have to address this immediately upon your arrival in that sweet Steve Jobs shirt.
Wow.
Okay, you look amazing. You look cool. So cool. It's 85 degrees over here. The fact you're wearing a turtleneck in the middle of that is there's another mental toughness feat that none of us will ever truly be able to understand. While you're in an attic in Ohio, it has to be hot as fuck. AJ, Charles Robinson of Yahoo Sports reported this morning that the holdup is that whenever Woody Johnson heard that Aaron was 90% retired going into the darkness, that he got a little bit worried about future picks or what guarantees are in the future. Now, Woody Johnson did travel out to California for an 11-hour trip with Aaron Rodgers. We asked, they did not do ayahuasca, allegedly.
Right.
We don't know what all happened. Do you think that this could be true, and is this something that we should necessarily talk about, AJ Hawk, a little bit?
I mean, we talk about everything that has to do with Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets right now, so I understand that part, but I doubt this had that much of an impact on Woody Johnson. I don't think it threw a wrench in the whole system, and he had to sit there and rethink the whole process once he heard this.
Okay, so AJ, just quickly, come on, what are we even?
What are we doing
All right, so that is an answer in of itself,
right?
That we need to take in for what it is, because he knows the answer, obviously.
Clearly,
just trying to not give it away, but not lie either.
Yeah, half truth.
Withholding information all the time.
What does that mean, though? That means Woody's worried he's only going to get him for one season. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I think. Charles Robinson, which is I think we've all been kind of talking about that potentially being a worry.
Concern, yeah.
So when Charles Robinson reports it, that's a source news. It's like, okay, so that is a real deal. But also, Woody didn't know until he was on the program. That would be wild. That would be a wild thing to think about as that relationship kind of begins. I don't know how that goes.
Well, and if it is true what he's reporting, then the idea that they had already agreed on compensation, and then when Woody heard, hey, I'm 90% retired.
So why wasn't he traded then by that Tuesday that he came on the program?
I don't know. Interesting. That's what doesn't really make sense, because then in this situation, like, I guess you can kind of see why the Packers would be like, nope, we already had a deal in place. Like,
completely.
Too bad. Like, that's what we're doing.
Joining us now is a man who might have more information because he's the senior insider for the NFL, both the NFL's league, the network, the website, and the streaming service, NFL Plus. He'll be on the same screen as Bobby Flay. He's been a food judge on Tailgate Takedown. Shout out his son Jude for breaking that news. He's racing horses with Joey Molinaro. Ladies and gentlemen, the host of the weekly wrap-up with Rap Sheet and Friends, us being the friends, he being Rap Sheet, Ian Rappaport.
What's up?
Sorry you're waiting on hold there for 2 minutes. We had to ask AJ that question.
Okay.
Is that report coming out of Yahoo Sports this morning, Charles Robinson? What is happening with the Jets and the Packers? Why there's such a holdup? Is that what you've heard as well?
Can you do me a favor? Can you read me the wording of his? I was typing as I was waiting on you guys. Like, what did Robinson say?
And this kind of shocking. Robinson reports the parties had the parameters of a deal in place, but after Rodgers said he was 90% retired thing, Woody Johnson got scared to spend high draft capital on him. That would explain why the Packers don't want to take less. So that also might be future draft picks or this year's draft pick with 13 overall. Is that something that we already should have known? Is that something that Woody Johnson didn't know after an 11-hour meeting with Aaron Rodgers? Is he learning it at the same time as us? Because that is wild. What are your thoughts on it all? And that does throw certainly a whole new conversation into the whole deal, I think, personally.
Right. Okay, so I do not believe compensation has ever been agreed to or really close enough to where they say, like, a deal is done. Right? Because that part, with all due respect to Charles Robinson, who I really like,
We do too. Friend of the program. Friend of the program. Good guy.
I do not believe that part is accurate. I do believe the 90% retired thing has played a factor. Because if you're the Jets, let's talk about value, right? If you get Aaron Rodgers for 1 year, that's worth X. If you get Aaron Rodgers for 2 years, it's worth X times 2, right? So if Aaron Rodgers retires, theoretically, the price might be different in the eyes of the Jets than if he stays for 2 years or 3 years. So I think what they're looking for is a way to account for that. Like, we love Aaron Rodgers. He's worth so much. We're going to get him. If it's for 1 year, it's this. If it's for 2 years, it's this other price. And so I do think the discussion of is it a, let's say, a hard first rounder or a hard second rounder in 2024, that's probably part of the discussion because, might it have to be conditional just to account for whatever this human being might decide to do.
Conditional seems like a way to get around any potential flaws on not knowing exactly what the future holds, especially for a quarterback that's as old as Aaron. And you could see how maybe somebody would ask Aaron and say, hey, do we know if you're going to play 2-3 years? How do you feel right now? He has not been in their building. He has no idea what day-to-day looks like over there. He has no clue. So I'll be excited to hear how they get to the bottom of that. And also, sounds like they're going to get the deal done.
Yep.
All right, hey.
Sure.
That's good negotiating,
I think eventually, I think they will, hopefully, maybe in a week and a half or something like that.
Okay. That sounds like a man who's saying around the draft or so. Let's talk about another deal that's almost done, allegedly via your tweet and Sportico. Allegedly, in principle, a deal has been made by Josh Harris, Mitchell Rales, and Magic Johnson, amongst others, to purchase the Washington Commanders from Dan Snyder for $6 billion. Now, they have to build a brand new stadium. Jeff Bezos was potentially going to be in this. He was told he was allowed to be in this before it was even announced that it was going to be for sale. Dan Snyder learned that Jeff Bezos is not actually the editor of the Washington Post. He just happens to own the Washington Post. So Dan Snyder put his swords aside and said, I'll take billions of dollars from you, I guess. Allegedly, that's how it all went. So we didn't know if this was ever going to get sold. Magic Johnson was on TV a week ago saying, if Dan Snyder blesses us, you're the man. That's the first time anybody on TV has ever said something nice about Dan Snyder in recent history, I do believe. How did this come about, and what are your sources telling you about the deal and what this looks like for the Washington football team going forward?
Okay, so what I know about this situation, I do not believe a deal has been agreed to. The way this would work is Dan Snyder would tell the league, this is my choice. Review this bid for, it's actually just under $6 billion. So from my understanding, not quite 6, just under there.
5.9, 5.95, 5.99. Like whenever you go to a store and it's like, this is $13.99. So they say it's under $14. You can get this whole thing. Is it like one of those? So that Magic,
not quite. A little less, but we'll see what my understanding is the final number has not been agreed to, so that's why a deal is not done.
That's what the deal is.
So the report is not wrong. It just seems to be premature because I do believe, from what I know, from what sources are telling me, that Josh Harris eventually will be the owner of the Commanders, assuming this deal is completed. I am told they are nearing a deal. It would have to be approved by the league. Snyder would have to submit it, and they would have to actually reach an agreement, which hasn't happened. But it seems he is going to be the guy when it all does happen. And obviously, this is the Sixers and the Devils owner.
Well, congrats to the NFL getting new money in there.
Yeah.
And I assume everybody's pumped that Dan Snyder's out of there. We never thought he was going to leave. And here we are, new owner, new stadium, maybe new team name. Go ahead, AJ.
Ian, how quickly after this deal gets done do they break ground on a new stadium there?
I mean, that's going to be so by the team. It has to be approved. I think I'm not 1,000% sure, but it seems like the May meeting would be a good. I think there's going to be enough time between now and the May meeting to finalize this, which is in Minnesota, which in the spring is going to be lovely, which I'm sure I will be there for that, to welcome in the new owner and maybe have a drink or two. We'll see.
You got to start working. Oh, new friends.
Wow.
Sources.
What's up, Magic?
Is that what we're talking about?
I love friends. I welcome all friends. If they happen to have information, that's awesome too, but mostly just friends. The stadium is going to be, picking the stadium spot is going to be the first thing, right? Because I know there's been a lot of push for a, stadium in D.C. That is obviously a political question as much as it is a find the land, have the money to pay question. Obviously, this is something that is going to be
Everything's a political question, right? That's a very condensed area. There's a lot of people sitting on top of each other over there. So there's going to be a lot of politicians who have to be anti-NFL too, right? There's some people that feel that way. And about the money and public funding, is that going to happen? Will the owners spend all the money? I mean, there's always a big time fight with that, right?
Right. Or were they anti-NFL or were they just anti-Dan Snyder? Like, I don't know that.
That's not the only place that this happens, though. Like everywhere.
No, of course.
There's new stadium problems. Like that is not like an easy feat, I don't think, to get it passed in there to do it anywhere, especially in the most political area of all time.
Yeah.
Of all the worlds, the most political area
ever
is that's going to be
literally
ever. That's not just like an easy task, right? That's going to be a difficult thing, don't you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be really difficult. But I also think that, basically to get this done, to purchase the Commanders, which I believe Josh Harris will do at some point eventually.
For the price of?
He knows
for the price of?
Just under 6B.
Just under?
6B.
Five.
Just under
6.
5'9".
This is like when people ask me my real height. It's like 5'8", 5'9". No, yeah,
If
5'9".
this was the price is right, what would your bid be?
Yeah, there it is. Yeah. If Bob Barker said, "Look at this,
Ian Rappaport, come on down,
the Washington Commanders," and you had to give the closest but not over, or hit it right on the thing so a bell goes off.
Yeah, you win the prize,
and everybody's so impressed. Maybe you win. What would you write down there? Because it would go from me. I go. $6 billion. And everybody, okay, yeah.
The $1 guy is the best.
Yeah, that's at the end though. $1 guy can't go anywhere near but the end. You only get one shot at the $1 thing.
Yeah.
Because then if you do $1 too early, guess who's coming?
Boom.
$2 person.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're dead. You're dead. There's no way that Washington Commanders football team's worth $1.
No.
You fucking idiot.
Come on. Come on.
Nobody's. So for you, if you had to do that, you would say 5'8".
I will wait until the final number is.
Be
a chicken shit.
Have some fun.
You're in the right ballpark.
Sure. All right, thank you.
Just under 6, we get it.
Amazing though. I will say this. This is, and it's obviously not done yet, but you really do get the feeling, and probably since yesterday when Fertitta came out and was like, "Yeah, I'm not going to bid more," and he said, I think his bid was 5.6 or something like that. This has been a long time coming. Long time coming. And I think for Commanders fans, this is the kind of thing where this is like a day they've been waiting for. I mean, it's truly like,
are they changing the name?
Almost surreal.
They'll change the name? They allowed to change the name? Does the league have to approve a name change? It was a private entity, right?
I'm sure the league would be involved, but I don't know that they would have to approve. I have not heard that they're going to change the name. I kind of like people not like the Commanders name.
Put your left hand up. Who are we? The Commanders. Hell yeah.
So, yes, they like it a lot.
I don't know if everybody likes that song. From what I've been told, I like that song.
Love that song.
I think it's a banger.
Joe Gibbs.
Wale likes it.
Wale was not a part of it.
He produced it.
No, he was not a part of it. He does pay his respects to whoever made it.
Oh, goody.
Yeah, there it is.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But I watched the Commanders play football here in Indianapolis, this past season. No merch was being worn that said Commanders by any of the fans. That there was probably 15 to 20.
Really?
The football team merch?
No, it wasn't Washington football team merch either.
Oh, it was the other one?
Oh, that other one.
It was the...
Say it, Rap.
What was the team name?
Who are we?
Not the Commanders.
Nope.
Oh, this guy doesn't know football.
I'm not putting a dollar in the jar. It's like, how long it took me to stop saying San Diego Chargers?
Oh, how about Oakland?
Yeah.
How about Oakland? Yeah. Oakland's tough. St. Louis Rams.
Yesterday I was trying to figure out where 2 days ago where CJ Stroud was, and I was told he was in Oakland. Definitely took me a minute to be like, not Oakland. Actually Las Vegas.
Yeah, you got to piece it together. Now, what we're talking about with the team name, vastly different than what you're talking about. Because we're just talking about cities. We're not talking about,
Come on.
just absolute. What was it? What was it again? What was the name of it? I forget.
Come on.
I've just gone out.
Washington football team was the previous.
That was
Yeah, but it changed to that.
Before that, though.
Was it still Washington or was it different?
Anyways, that team that is slipping all of our minds, that was the team that was being represented by every single fan that was in Lucas Oil Stadium. And they were very loud. So I'm not saying that they have to go back to a name that was, what was it? What was the...
I can't. Maybe I have it in my head.
What's the rhyme with?
Foreskins or something?
Yeah, rhymes with foreskins.
That sounds
It
right.
does.
I don't know if that was the name.
I don't know if that rhymed.
But I don't know if you have to do that.
Ted Flynn's is what it rhymes with.
Oh, so you do know.
No, I just
hope you're happy, Ian. Okay, now you made me say it. Wow, you're a terrible fucking guy. Anyways, I don't know if you have to do that. Obviously, you can't do that. Won't do that. Society, the whole thing, can't do it. Won't do it. Why would you? You've already come this far and made the decision that we've offended people. We don't want to be a part of it anymore. That's what the decision was made. They go to Washington football team, then they go to the Commander. I don't think people have necessarily all bought into the Commanders, is what I'm saying. All that merch just told me that they weren't necessarily, pumped to be a Commander fan.
Yeah.
But how many times can you change it and still be taken seriously? I don't know. That's a decision that I guess the next owners will have to make, and hopefully they'll be able to do it right. And if they're the Commanders 15 years from now, it'll just be normal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of just off and running. Do you have to take it on the shins for a bit as people have to adjust to a brand new normal? Pac-Man has a question for you, Rap.
Rap, if they do it right, Magic Johnson and his group of buddies are used to dealing with guaranteed contracts. Could this be the one group that like Lamar?
Oh, here we go.
I think it's a good fit. I think the quarterback there is an okay quarterback. I'm not saying nothing bad about him.
Sam Howell.
He's an okay quarterback, but Lamar is a top-tier guy. I think these guys are used to dealing with guaranteed contracts. Could this be the one team that say yes?
Ooh, that was a splash.
Man, that is a great question because obviously Josh Harris is the owner of the Sixers and they deal with guaranteed contracts.
Magic Johnson, obviously. Yeah, guaranteed contract.
Magic has also played basketball at a very high level.
Baseball.
baseball.
It's the Dodgers.
First of all, on the Lamar, I do not believe Lamar's in the conversation there. And,
they don't even have a deal done. How the fuck do you know? What are we even talking about?
Yeah, you don't know.
Well, but also when he gets, if this progresses as it should and he gets approved in, let's say, May or whenever the meeting is, then I have a hard time imagining a deal for Lamar would happen then. Like maybe next year if this was still a thing. But I don't believe Lamar Jackson is in any way in the future for the Commanders. And the football people, I mean, Ron Rivera basically said at the owners' meeting, they view Sam Howell as their future starting quarterback. He needs to play like it. But that is what they view him as. The other question is really interesting because, obviously the bulk of the NFL, the bulk of the owners have been pretty outspoken, some of them about, guaranteed contracts and that they do not think they are a good thing. Is a new owner going to come in, ruffle a bunch of feathers and sign someone to a fully guaranteed contract? I guess my answer would be if he wants the player bad enough.
Yeah.
That would be the answer to that.
And if he wants to succeed, I mean, look at what Tepper's rolled through, 3 offensive coordinators, 2 head coaches, 5 quarterbacks.
A town.
Just a town,
Yeah.
A bankruptcy with a town. Like these new money, I think, going to be very greedy. Not greedy business people, but greedy for success. Make a big investment into something. I would like to see this do well, especially in a very public forum that is the NFL. That's why the Walton family, kind of doing what they did over there with the Broncos, bringing in Sean Payton, bringing back a former head coach for them, Vance Joseph.
Using the fund.
Using the, I think there is going to be, maybe, new money is always good for everything.
And you bring up the Panthers, their coaching staff was also, very high-end money-wise.
Yeah, and you can spend it. There's no salary cap on that, so that's an advantage. And I think new money, got to have big money to get into the league. Not that old owners don't have big money, okay? We get it.
No, but it's different.
$6 billion, what is 200 more? Million.
Yeah, you're talking about for Lamar?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. He's saying they're out. This guy. Ian said, no, they don't want it. Ian, why don't you arbitrate a deal there for the guy, kind of take care of him? Speaking of deal, this is an interesting thought Ty has for you.
Yeah, Rap Sheet, I have a hard time believing that Jeff Bezos wasn't okay with $6 billion and that he would be outbid. Is there some sort of conflict of interest with everything he has going on at Amazon? I think we all assumed that if he really wanted this bad enough, like no one's going to be able to outbid him. He can wipe his ass with $6 billion. Like, why did he eventually step away? And is it the type of thing like, is he ever going to be an owner, you think? Or is he kind of just going to stick with what he's got going on at Amazon and kind of try to build that up in the next 10 years or so?
Well, I think at Amazon, he's kind of stepped away a little bit, kind of like Bob Iger did at Disney. But, I mean, maybe he gets back involved there. I think that would be certainly
Bob's back, though.
Yeah, all the way.
Bob's back.
Right. And, I wonder, like, now that we know for sure Bezos is not going to buy the Commanders, which maybe that same thing happens at Amazon. We'll see. But I never got the sense he was really in this at all. His name was in it, mostly from media. But, like, I never really got the feel that he was in it because, like you said, if he was in it, he would be like, okay, just under 6. Like, all right, how about 7? Like, he would have, and I'm sure there is a point where at some point Snyder would be like, all right, I'll just take all of your money because it's going to be more than everyone else. The one that people sort of wonder about is at some point, are the Seahawks sold, and is that the team that he ends up grabbing? Like, I don't know that's going to happen.
A lot of big money up there in Seattle,
around
right?
the league, like they believe the Seahawks would be the team at some point in the probably not that near future.
Is that where he's from?
I think so. I would have to look on the internet.
I wonder
I'm
why
sure
the
Wikipedia
Seahawks
has
would be the reason why he would buy a team.
I know he invested a ton of money into the Kraken's hockey arena up there, so I do think he has some ties to the area.
That's very nice.
You'd think we would
This
know
guy
this.
might bring basketball back, too.
Zito just said something to me.
Born in New Mexico.
New Mexico.
Okay.
So that's close. Got it.
So that was an interesting give and take there between me and Zito.
Did you hear the new?
He said New Mexico and then Mexico. I think he said New Mexico twice. Didn't hear the third word of that sentence.
Oh.
So I didn't know if he was saying New Mexico or Old Mexico. Because if Jeff Bezos was from Old Mexico, I thought that would be something that I would have known. So that was a whole thing that happened right there. Zito, thank you for the information.
Update: he started Amazon in a garage in Washington and basically created the business plan on the drive from New York to Seattle.
Okay. All right. So Seattle holds a special place in his heart. Why not buy the Seahawks? Especially with the way that stadium's already built.
Yeah.
You're getting dropped into something that is magical. And that practice facility right there on the water. Oh, it's beautiful.
That's awesome.
It is beautiful. Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Rap Sheet, there's been some rumors circulating with the Jets because they missed out on OBJ that they might be in on D-Hop now and take a run at him. Do you think that's true? And then also, is that another trade we're looking at like 2 weeks from now when it's around draft time?
Have not heard the Jets with DeAndre Hopkins. The Jets have, they signed 2 receivers in free agency. They might still draft one. They still have Corey Davis. Obviously, Garrett Wilson is, I think, going to be really, really good maybe. I think they're actually okay at receiver. I viewed Odell as more of like a cherry on the top of the thing,
Sure.
So I don't think they're going to replace not getting Odell with something. I think he would have been like almost extra. As far as D-Hop, if a trade was going to happen, probably closer to the draft. I do think it's still possible. I know there's still teams interested. I know those talks are going on, but like the draft is probably the time. So I think, as you get closer, a week, 2 weeks, maybe it's like, is a trade going to happen? Yes or no? And either it will, or it'll be like, he's going to be here. Yes, Pat.
No, I was pointing at AJ to ask a question. We do it every time. Welcome to the show. Fucking A.
Ian, you mentioned Seattle possibly being a destination for Bezos to go after. Are there any other teams out there? Like, if you had to make a guess of what the next team to sell in the NFL, we know this doesn't happen very often. Who could it be?
I would. Besides Seattle, I don't have a good one.
Chargers.
I think at some point Seattle. When Paul Allen unfortunately died, I think a lot of people thought that it was going to happen soon, and it's not. And now I don't get the sense that his sister wants to sell anytime soon. I just think eventually it'll probably happen, and that would probably be the team. But it seems to be probably in the not that near future, if I had to guess.
Okay. Hey, who knows? The more Bezoses that get created.
Yeah.
We just learned Bezos' mom is Cuban, by the way.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, Cuban American. Oh, his father is Cuban.
Father.
And he's adopted.
Father's father.
I don't know, Zito. Zeno's obviously Cuban. So
we got it nailed down.
Zeno, obviously a Cuban man. So he's there was a very excited drop into my ear there.
Quick.
His mom's Cuban, his mom's Cuban, his mom's Cuban. But then as I'm speaking that right there, dad actually Cuban and adopted. So I don't know if Jeff was adopted, his dad was adopted, if his adopted family was Cuban, or if his adopted family adopted a Cuban
Jeff was
child.
adopted at 4 years old.
Okay.
His father is Cuban descent, immigrant.
Hef Bezos.
He's
Miguel, I believe it was his dad's name.
Hold on though, his so his adopted dad or his
Sorry, Jeff is adopted.
Jeff is adopted.
But
so
biological.
his adopted family is Cuban?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
So
So
grew
he
up in the
is-
Cuban world pretty much.
Is
That's
he
why he's so
also Cuban?
successful.
Yeah, and he's yacht right now. He's jockeying
Yeah.
the yacht right now. You know, I think all those guys you're talking about how, Bob Iger stepped away and then he came back. I think it happened back in the day to Steve.
Right.
And then Steve Jobs came back. I think those uber successful, super brilliant human beings, like they get antsy. I think you can only be, doing whatever you're doing away from work for a bit. So I can't wait to see what Jeff Bezos dives back into.
Yes.
Unless he's just going to be jocked on a boat for the rest of his life. That'd be the first time, though, one of those uber geniuses just kind of did nothing.
That
You know what
yacht
I mean?
he has.
It's pretty nice.
Dude,
Yeah, I mean, I would. If you're gonna get, he's
Jocked.
jacked. I mean, he is. That must be great to just walk. If I was that jacked, I'd definitely walk around the office all the time. Which I don't really have an office, so maybe just my house.
Well, the yacht
Then my
is
wife
his
is
office.
like, It is. what do you
And
mean?
the yacht is his office, and every time he's on his office, there's people taking photos of him, and he's always shirtless and so jocked. Congrats. to
Funny
him.
how that happens.
I would be excited to see if he does get into the NFL, how that changes things, because Jeff is a good businessman.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he will try to win, and he will try to have success very quickly. Who knows what the new money is going to do? There's some reports coming out of Houston about some different conversations before the draft here. One of them, hey, they're not that interested in maybe a quarterback. Another one that came out is that word on the street via Michael Lombardi told us, and he heard from others, Caserio might be out of Houston after the draft. That's kind of rumbling on the internet right now from numerous different people. What do you know about that, and what does the future look like for Houston?
I don't believe there's any validity to the Caserio rumor.
Okay.
Wow.
I don't see why he would leave. That seems like an awesome situation, and I have zero belief that they are going to move on from him at all. The other one
That was
is
pretty. Lombo.
He just kind of dunked on him.
Yeah, but Lombo said that he was just what he was hearing. I don't know if he meant that that was breaking news, but it was like being talked about. I think Florio.
Oh yeah, it was
because that would be huge news.
Oh, yeah.
To your point, Ian, that would be a massive move that would come out of nowhere
post draft,
right after the draft. You're saying
also, I don't know why it would be. I mean, he's set the thing up pretty good to be successful. I mean,
what's that?
He set the thing up pretty good to be successful.
Yeah, yeah.
He got a lot of draft picks.
What is your problem?
He got.
Oh,
Why do you laugh after I said the what's that? I just didn't hear you. You dropped out.
Yeah,
obviously.
because it's not like the Texans has been on fire for any of the last 3 years.
Yeah, but one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish.
That's right.
Was
That
calling the
thing.
shots.
The quarterback just standing on the sidelines for an entire year.
Yeah, bread the body, the bread,
Yeah.
blood, the wine. That was out. That's out now. Now it's all ball. What's that?
Yeah, all ball.
But you just said,
No,
nah, shut up, not real. That's your actual feeling in the whole situation because of how alarming it sounds, and you have not heard anything of validity of any of that.
I have heard that it is not valid.
How about quarterback at 2?
That one, I cannot deny that one. Like, I'm not saying anything's gonna happen, but like, I am that of all the draft rumors, and like, you know, this world, like, you got to look into everything. Like, at least it's an interesting one, and nobody there, and like, it's not like Nick Caserio is going to share literally anyone. Like, I do not believe no one there has said like that's ridiculous. Will Anderson is a very good player. If the Texans took him at 2, it would be surprising. But, like, he's good enough to where you'd be like, okay, well, that value makes sense. But then it's like they still need a quarterback.
Yeah.
And maybe they're going to, like, wait to get one at 12 or move up from there. But, like, history shows if you like a quarterback, just take him because nothing is worth losing. That's why the Giants ended up taking Daniel Jones in the top 10 when a lot of people thought they'd wait till 17. Like, just take him.
History also shows us we have no fucking clue if any of these guys are going to be good.
I mean, No idea.
Yeah, it could be a fourth
Literally.
rounder, could be pick 199, could be the first overall pick, could be 15, 16. Honestly, you have no clue.
267 or whatever.
Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Last pick. Yeah, Brock Purdy. I don't know how many picks are in the draft because Dolphins lost one.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
year.
yeah. This year's
Because the
different.
owner, remember the owner was calling Tom Brady saying, get the fuck out of New England.
Yeah.
I got a team for sale down here in Miami. Remember that?
I do remember that.
So they don't have a pick.
It seems like 85 years ago, by the way.
They don't have a pick. That story all wraps up after this draft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they don't have
draft night going to be just a couple minutes shorter this year.
How long? This one's going to be a long one, huh? Because there's a lot of different opinions on players, you think? Because some of these drafts,
oh boy,
last year moved though.
quick. Last year, seemingly, people knew what they wanted a little bit more, and this one,
no quarterbacks either. Like that was kind of the big thing, right?
Kenny
It's like,
Pickett, 20.
and he was it. But now, if you got 5 guys potentially going in the top 15 or whatever, like we might have a lot of teams using all 10 minutes on the clock.
Holy shit. Breaking news while we're live here with Ian Rappaport. Ian, we have to talk about this because we owe it to the program. Adam Schefter's reporting that Canadian billionaire Steve Apostolopoulos and his family are still in the mix for the Commanders, with one source telling ESPN that's a head-to-head race. It's anyone's game.
Wow.
I do know that Stevie A here, was not on the Today Show last week saying, hey, Dan Snyder's an awesome human being. Magic Johnson was. Is that a part of the gamesmanship that's taking place between these two mega billionaires to get the Commanders? And how happy is Dan Snyder? And how many other people do you think are potentially in the race still at this point, even though Sportico reported that a deal has already been finished between Josh Harris and Dan Snyder?
That is a stronger denial of the Sportico report than I offered. Because that would indicate there's no deal anywhere at all. I have not heard that. My understanding is Josh Harris is nearing a deal. I'm not denying that. I'm sure he has good sources. I have not heard that is the case. But it does sort of indicate that there's nothing final and done. But maybe in the coming days we'll get an answer.
What's Astropoulos? What is he? What business is Stevie A in? Do you know?
I am not quite familiar with the Canadian billionaire, nor how to pronounce his name, if we're being completely honest.
Yeah, I butchered it a few times. If he ends up in the league, I apologize. But
Gyros,
Steve
I think.
Apostolopoulos, Steve Apostolopoulos.
Boom.
Okay, we got there. Is a Canadian billionaire and businessman. He was born in Toronto as the son of late Greek Canadian businessman Andreas Apostolopoulos. He is the managing partner of a real estate firm, Triple Group of Companies, the founder of an equity firm, Six Ventures, and co-founder of a credit card. Okay. So Apostolopoulos has cake, I'd assume.
Yeah, a lot of money.
Founder of an equity, which has a bunch of other people's money in there as well, a bunch of the richest people's money.
Yep.
And then also founder of credit card. Anytime you're in the money world and you're a founder of something, you have a lot of it. You kind of have to. Shout out to Apostolopoulos coming into the game potentially here late.
I can tell you this is good information, B, because on March 22nd, I think the connect here is that Brian Windy Windhorse reported that Wasawopoulos did submit a $6 billion bid. So if Windy's reporting it, then you know it's
but that was Canadian. We're talking USD here. We need cold hard cash.
That means they probably actually offered 7 point something billion American if they're offering 6 billion Canadian. That was always a wide wake up whenever you go into Canada, then come back into Canada. I go into Canada, America's winning on a Friday.
Yeah.
Come out on a Sunday, all of a sudden Canada's winning. I lose both ways and in the casino. Thank God Niagara Falls is a good time. We can't thank you enough for joining us. I understand you'll probably learn about Apostolopoulos, and thank you for all the news, Ian. Have an incredible weekend.
You guys have a great weekend. Enjoy the wedding. Congratulations, Pat, on the speech. Take a deep breath before you get out there, because sometimes when there's a lot of eyes on you, you get out of breath. Just take like a deep breath before you start going.
Okay, I'll try to manage my nerves. I appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, Ian Rappaport. Bro, Apostolopoulos is not fucking around.
No, not at all.
I think we got it, right?
Yeah,
Apostolopoulos.
Apostolopoulos.
Yep.
Apostolopoulos.
That was it.
Apostolopoulos.
Yep.
I don't know about that last one.
The last one was
Man, I pronounce that thing 17 different ways.
That's a tough name. Greek names are very difficult.
Yeah, long too.
And what I also learned is, man, I don't know anything about any billionaires other than Americans.
No.
You know?
Rumor has it he actually created poutine as well.
Okay.
Good fries.
That's
Oh,
huge.
yeah.
Holy
Delicious
shit.
Probably has a couple Tim Hortons.
Yeah, King Timmy's.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Congrats to Apostolopoulos coming south of the border and fucking making a play in the capital.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Apostolopoulos in the capital, a Canadian billionaire?
Oh, my
Oh, the relations would be so much better.
They would.
I wonder if Apostolopoulos is for or against Canada putting masks back on. Because I think then we'll learn a lot about how Gumpy feels about Apostolopoulos. But nonetheless, congrats to all successful Canadians that have come to America.
Yeah. I assume he's against it.
So Andreas Apostolopoulos was a Greek-Canadian billionaire businessman as well. This is the father. He is best known for his ownership of the Silver Dome.
What?
Oh, my
The
God.
Flint, Michigan Tropics?
Hell yeah.
Brother,
Oh, Rich.
Welcome to the Silver Dome, brothers.
Apostolopoulos has been around.
He created Greek town.
I've been to Greek Town. Greek Town's a good time.
Let's go.
Okay.
Apostolopoulos family likes to have a good time. They like to do things right. If they get into the NFL, we'll be excited about it. And we literally just learned about their existence 3 minutes ago.
Yeah, great names too. Lopoulos is like the Greek version of Eni in Italian.
Really?
That's what it feels like. A lot
Not
of
I think Opolis. I think Opolis.
Oupollos? Opolis? Or is it Lopoulos?
Greek names are awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Greek names are tough. Italian names can get you every once in a while. What other names? Russian, like those
Russian or
Eastern
tough.
Europe names.
Russian,
Kuznetsov. A lot of ovs in that one.
Apostolopoulos.
Apostolopoulos. Yeah.
Hey, we did it. Has played every minute of all 5 minutes.
Ooh, I don't know.
I don't know if the Greek center back Apostolopoulos. Probably this guy's, I mean.
Might be his nephew, yeah.
Yeah, we have no idea if it's part of the Silver Dome founding family or not.
I mean,
but
if he's anchoring the Rhinos defense, we know he's an Ostapopoulos.
yeah, he's a dog, dude.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to a break. Hour 3 will be on the other side. We'll answer some phone calls. We'll also have Pac-Man attempt to do a giveaway here on this Nick's Getting Hitched Thursday. AJ, have you thought about Nick getting married because you're not going to be there? Have you had to visualize it to act like you'd be with all the lads having a good time, celebrating a little bit of love? Have you thought about it at all?
Prick.
Yeah, I have. I'm trying to work somebody in there to FaceTime the whole time so I can watch the whole ceremony.
Oh, like that little robot thing that they have on the laundry commercial.
Yeah, I could probably do that for him.
Just put a,
Danny, please.
we'll put a laptop on a stick.
Yeah. Put it in my front pocket. He's got a front row seat.
Once again,
P.O., that'd be awesome, right? From your point of view, con man?
If it's anything like an electric car, you're in trouble.
well, we're not going to drive it state to state.
Doesn't matter. It's still run by battery.
Battery could die on both the FaceTime machine and on the robot that's driving AJ
We'll
around.
do a long extension cord, so no matter what, we'll be plugged in.
Bro, think about the head that we're going to put on that thing with your face in the middle of it. That would just be a gigantic cranium sitting on one of those.
Well, we could take home plate from PNC Park and put it on.
There we go.
Boom.
Pirates need it. They're playing good.
No, they were. Oh, yes. Do you want to address the elephant in the room? Or?
Oh, no. What happened?
For 16 years, a team in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Oh, yeah.
Representing a sport in the league in the highest of fashions.
Here, here.
A Mount Rushmore player adopted a city and a city adopted he. And for over a decade and a half, they would fucking go dancing into the playoffs. It was the longest active streak of any professional sports team on playoff berths, any of the leagues, including these pickleball leagues. The Fives ain't fucking done it 16 times straight. Gary Vee might be able to get them to do it someday, but that day is at least a decade and a half from now. Greatness personified. The Pittsburgh Penguins have missed the playoffs for the first time in 16 years. Sick taps for the run.
Sick taps. Good
That
run.
can't happen. The NHL cannot let that happen.
It happened.
Yeah, they can.
They put. I seen it on the internet last night.
Sidney Crosby, he has to be. The playoffs are 6 months long. They need him.
This is the only hockey that matters.
Yep.
Okay? This is the only hockey that the world sees. And the player that has carried the NHL on his shoulders. 3 Stanley Cups, 1 gold medal for Apostolopoulos.
Yeah.
That's right.
2 gold medals.
Look at that.
For Apostolopoulos' country up there. One time beating America. Didn't love it.
That
No.
was tough.
But I was impressed with the way he was playing in the biggest moments. Never did any interviews. Nobody knew he existed. Decade and a half. carried that team on his shoulders, and now we're eyeing down a potential rebuild and certainly a GM getting fired.
Yeah.
And he can't help but look back and just be proud of what the boys accomplished. And look back thankful for the moments in which we were very boozed up. And Lordo would come into the bar that we were at on the south side of Pittsburgh. Numerous different years. Those were glory days.
Yeah.
Feels like those days were long ago. And that's how long they've been good for. Thank you, Pittsburgh Penguins, for everything you did. Now, with that being said, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, welcome to Red Wing City.
That's what we are. We're not even invited to the dance. We are the Detroit Red Wings all of a sudden.
Yeah, not quite. The Red Wings did 25 years in a row, so you guys were close.
Yeah,
but,
there was 14.
16 is pretty
Okay,
good.
yeah, everybody made it.
16 is
Everybody
pretty
made it.
good.
Everybody made it. Well, how many teams are in the league? 6. How many people make the playoffs? Oh, 6.
No,
okay.
this wasn't that long ago.
All right, okay.
But still,
It was
great
before the
run.
salary cap. No one
Wasn't
cares.
that long ago.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, okay. So no one cares before the salary cap. Glad to hear that, Nick. The other thing too that you can kind of find the little silver lining in is kind of like maybe now Sid, he can go somewhere and maybe win a cup with another team that's at the top of the league. Maybe next year he decides, you know what, I do want to play for an original 6 team, and the Boston Bruins, they're the reigning defending Stanley Cup champions, and they only care about hockey. And then he just gets shipped up to Boston, and we can all root for the Bruins.
Shipping up to Boston.
Sidney Crosby, up to Boston, and Tanger.
Listen, Tanger and Sid aren't going anywhere, but I do believe going into the season we thought this team might be a little bit too slow to have success because this team looks a lot like last year's team, and last year's team was a little bit too slow to have success.
Yeah.
Have they just gotten old? I haven't watched them.
Yeah, AJ, thanks. Yeah. They're not dead, so they're getting older. Yes.
It's not about them getting old, too. It's like
Nick, do you have anything to say about this before all this slander continues? What was that, Connor?
They lost season on the line. They lost to the second worst team in hockey, 5-2 at home.
They might be broken too. They're old. They might be broken mentally, but the guys are still playing good. That are the guys.
I don't want to. Last time that happened was fucking when the Colts went down to Clowntown.
Oh boy, it
All right.
was. Okay, so the Penguins are the Colts.
Yeah, but the Colts on the road. Pens are at home.
Yeah. So it's worse.
Nick, any thoughts about the Pittsburgh Penguins era of greatness, an era of us just being able to talk shit to anybody at any moment? That was so much fun. Hockey people, not everywhere. You run into a hockey person, they're wearing any hat. Fuck you, your team stinks. Pittsburgh Penguins are the greatest team on earth. I could say that for the last decade and a half, and there was a chance that we would win it. Some years we were too slow, not going to make a run. But there was most years, we could potentially go win this. Those were fun times. We talked a lot of shit, Nick. Now it seems like we're in a spot where we can't do it anymore.
We sure did, Pat, but there's nothing to be ashamed of. They maximized the potential. 3 Stanley Cups in their lifetimes. Hey, and the big guys are still going. We don't know. If they fire that GM and they retool that roster the right way, when they fire Ron
I don't like
Hextall,
calling for people's jobs, but
I
hey,
will.
pal, you made my
I
life
want his
a lot
head
worse.
on a spike.
Jesus, allegedly, that's a metaphor. Or riot out of the city, not actually. Jesus.
Sid Crosby still scored 91 points this season. He's still an elite playmaker. Evgeny Malkin, over a point a game. The big guys are still getting it done. They had no help from the supporting cast. It was absolutely abysmal. They were getting caved in. The analytics showed it. The eye test showed it. You retool that bottom 6. You give those guys some complimentary players to help them out a little bit. They're still a damn good team in the NHL.
Hell yeah, it's not over. Sorry about it. Just took a year off like when LeBron went out to L.A. and he was drinking booze before he was going into the game. Sidney Crosby wasn't boozing before these games.
No.
But yeah, maybe he let a ball just roll out of bounds, on an inbound pass.
Yeah.
Maybe something slipped by. Maybe the goalies that have played for the Pens the last few years just forget how to play hockey in certain times.
Louis
You want to get back on top? You fire this GM. There's one woman for the job, and she shares the namesake of the
really
current
good idea.
GM.
How about that?
You bring in Leah Hextall, and I guarantee you guys will be hoisting Lord Stanley.
I appreciate where you're coming from.
We don't want any plagiarism.
Okay, not only that, with obviously stealing the current GM's last name, I think they're in the family, and maybe a call or two every once in a while. It's going to happen.
And slides it home.
A lot of mic time. I think the city of Pittsburgh, Penguins fans more specifically, sick of all Hextalls. Not Leah's fault, okay? Not Leah Hextall's fault.
Okay.
Ron's fault.
Where's he from?
Ron Hextall?
What country is he from?
I think he's Canadian. I don't know.
Okay, why don't we, while we're getting rid of him, he could take his Canadian friend who calls plays for the Steelers. They could both get the fuck out of town.
Yeah.
Matt Canada?
Yeah.
Not from I don't think he's considered Canadian.
Well, in my book.
What if at the family reunion they call it a Canadian affair?
My book, they're tied together. At the hip.
Same.
All right. Mario can stay, though.
Mario.
Sid can stay.
Mario saved the city. He can stay.
Canadians have done a lot of good for Pittsburgh as well. We understand that.
Yeah, Sid's going north, but not Canada.
Not all Canadian.
He's going to Boston.
Let's get to a break. It's sad, AJ.
I just think it's a travesty if Sidney Crosby is not in the playoffs for the whole league.
Nah, it's okay. We don't care anymore. It's a new era, and that's Pasta and McDavid. Sorry.
Wasn't Ron a Flyer, too? This is an inside fucking job.
What?
He was a goalie for the Flyers, but his father was a Pittsburgh Penguin back in the day. So
Nice. It's in his blood.
He was a Flyer, though?
yes.
He's got to win to get in. Y'all had 2 games to get in.
Yeah,
That's all we had to do, Pack.
and they played the second worst team. in the
LeBron
league.
got in. We talking about the same caliber of player.
All right.
You named that.
Well,
AJ,
all right.
Penguins are playing the Blue Jackets tonight. You should go pay your respects.
95% of the NHL doesn't get into the playoffs.
Jackets aren't doing too well this year.
The Blackhawks were 26, 49, and 6, and you
Blackhawk
lost to
died.
them. Jeez Louise.
Also, Sid didn't have the worst plus-minus on his team, okay, like LeBron, but...
Excuses.
Let's get to a break.
Wonder who holds that streak now, that playoff streak.
I don't know, because no one cared about anything before
Probably
the salary cap
used to
era.
that.
So,
You guys have the most wins since 2005.
which Nick just said, no one cared about hockey before 2005, which makes me feel great.
Cool. Add it to your little thing.
Yeah, you
More-
guys should hang a banner or something for that. That'd
More-
be cool.
We are hanging a banner, and more wins than Sidney
What's
Crosby.
going on? What's going on? What just happened here? You're hanging a banner?
So, due to the, and maybe I read this wrong because I read it was tonight and we are away tonight, but due to breaking the most important, stat in NHL
Empty
history, the Bruins will be raising a banner based on how many wins they've had this year.
No way. An original 16 will be raising a banner for that.
I believe.
Hey, you got. This
might
is a
be an internet-
McCockner.
Yeah, it might be, but if it's
If you
not,
don't win, it doesn't matter. If you don't win, who cares?
no ring doesn't mean a thing. You know what they say.
There we go, Con.
Regular season's all that matters. Shout out to Peyton Manning and the boys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody up there. Original 16, a lot of cups. Hanging a banner for a regular season record. I like it.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey, let's celebrate these things.
Yeah, I mean, you would
Let's get
never,
a ring.
You never know anything about being an original 16, but I'm not sure exactly what is going on up there. No matter what, I just hope they wait, hang a 2-sided banner. One side has the wins, the other side has
That's the cup.
Because at that point, it would be what?
We do got to figure out a team that I am going to
Root for?
Kidding me?
bet on. Oh, we want Jackie Aces.
Just had the guy on yesterday.
What about
Fucking
Texas hockey?
Entertainment episode.
Yeah,
of the
but
world.
dude, watching the Bruins play, you're like, that team's fucking better than everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking about this to Nick. At this point, obviously, it's the Cup. But if they lose in the conference finals or the first or second, it's going to be heartbreaking. They need to at least
Oh, it'd
get
be a
there.
real shame if that happens. Let's get to a break. All right, we'll be back for the third hour. We'll answer some phone calls on the 5-Hour Energy phone line on the other side. We'll also talk about everything else going on around the world as we wrap up this week because we're off tomorrow because Nick's getting married. Hey, baby Nick. We got some helmet conversations to chat about. Google's deal with the NFL has kind of been released. Jeffrey Simmons had a press conference after signing a new deal that the world needs to see. There's so much to chat about, and we'll do that in the next hour. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. This is the Pat McAfee Show. Take 5.
Bye.
Well, nonetheless, as of February 1st, Pat McAfee is officially a contributor with WWE.
Living his dream to be a part of WrestleMania.
I want to see Pat McAfee tonight.
I've been preparing for this my entire life.
McAfee wins! McAfee wins! Pat McAfee has done it again! It's time to toast the boys and toast the brand. McAfee's wanted to drink beer with Stone Cold forever. Stunner!
There was a point in my life, all I could think about doing was professional wrestling.
McAfee closing in on another WrestleMania victory.
First, we're going to have to get the okays, obviously. And we did from people high up. They were the only people that knew for a while. There was like 3 people that knew in the whole world that was going to potentially be a situation for a little bit.
City of Stars, Boston Connors here. We will be there tonight. Nobody's supposed to know we're here. It's going to be tough. And if you're a man that's only known for wearing tank tops, you kind of got to cover it up. I didn't see him. Hey, I'm Pat. Nice to meet you. He's hanging in the back.
1 second. Here you go.
My partner served my face. I can't see shit. Who's not going to be in here?
Nobody. This is you until you go out.
Come on, dude. Let's go and take a look around. There's some bunk beds there. You know, there's a shitter and a shower here in the back.
He sat in that bus 6, 7, 8 hours, 9, 10 hours.
I'm coming down that thing. Holy fuck, what a view that's going to be. Hell yeah. Look at all those fucking people that are going to be there.
Just waiting, for an opportunity to potentially have a WrestleMania moment.
It's ridiculous. This is awesome. WWE is just like the best at operating. They take care of the non-obvious. So we're very thankful to be here. And tonight should be fucking sick.
Hell yeah.
I think there's like 3 people that know I'm here.
Are we not supposed to come in here?
No, yeah.
All right.
4 now. Look at you.
I want to say a word.
I'll see you at SoFi. You going to be in LA?
I don't know, George. Is it,
It's a loaded question.
George, we don't know, George. You don't know, maybe.
What's up, stud?
Oh, nice.
As soon as I saw George showcase that tight end university tank top, I knew there was a chance old George was about to do something special.
Are you kidding me, boys?
Welcome to WrestleMania!
The night was getting late. We weren't sure. We didn't know if a moment was going to pop up where maybe my services could be utilized.
I haven't been in a ring since SummerSlam. Okay, like not even in one.
All I wanted was the Miz to have an opportunity to have a
match, just
a WrestleMania match.
Yeah, good guy. Stand there.
And then the Miz mentions, I sent out an open challenge, and we go,
oh my God.
There it is.
And I put out an open challenge, and no one responded. Why? Because I'm the Miz, and I'm awesome!
Let's go!
Wait a minute! I feel like McAfee's here!
I have walked out into a stadium as a WWE superstar probably 1,000,000 times in my head.
WrestleMania was missing Pat McAfee in the Pat McAfee Show!
And I'm thankful to the WWE Universe that said hello whenever I came out on that massive fucking stage.
By the way, there's only 2 announcers undefeated in WrestleMania history, me and Pat. I can't believe McAfee's here! Hello, beautiful people!
What's up, Snoop?
What's up, Snoop?
You're a legend, dog. You're the best, dog.
Hello, Miz! None of us saw this alleged open challenge that you said. But, good news. This is my WrestleMania tank top. If you still would like a match, why don't you let me beat your ass right here, right now? You all want to see The Miz versus Pat McAfee right here, right now? I'm the host of WrestleMania, and I cannot make matches official. Miz, I do believe your tiny balls are showing. Tiny balls. Tiny balls. Baby meat as well. There's 80,497 people here. Somebody has to be able to make a match official somewhere.
I am the dog father and the host of WrestleMania, so I feel like I can make that match happen. Right now, we got a ref, we got you, Let's get cracking. I'm out. Let's go.
And McAfee go right after Miz with the right hand, driving Miz back into the corner. Pat McAfee in action. This is a blatant sneak attack. He takes his duties as host of WrestleMania. Oh yes, Buster! Derelict shows up, and check out his tank top though. He's got sparkles on it. You're behind this, aren't same thing in the Rumble. I didn't know this guy was showing up. Oh, what a kick by McAfee. Piss.
Hey, baby boss. Baby boss. Tiny meat.
In a $7,000 tuxedo. George Kittle of the San Francisco 49ers. I'm not sure how wise that was. McAfee's got the official distracted in the ring. Kittle just took out Miz. Kittle telling McAfee to go on top. McAfee heading up to the top rope. And taking out the Miz. Now we're talking. Miz may never win another match. McAfee closing in on another WrestleMania victory. Surprise here tonight at WrestleMania goes Hollywood.
That match was awesome. I had so much fun there. That was a good time. The punt was fucking hilarious. You got a tiny balls chant going. I had a feeling. You're sitting here all day. Oh, I wanted to text you earlier. I was told not to text you.
Well, of course. Nobody fucking texts
I was
you.
told not to text you.
Dude.
You had a hell of a show. I'm so thankful to the people at the WWE. It was a super cool night, super cool moment, and I'm very thankful for it all.
5:30 a.m. Sunday. This day started 6:30 a.m. Saturday. So much cool shit happened in between now and then. Joke of an existence. I'm very thankful for everything. Let's go take a nap, please.
Why? Hey.
Why?
Let's go. This show fucking stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it. AJ, never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it! What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck Boston.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Knicks Getting Hitched on Saturday, Thursday, April 13th, 2023. Hour 3 of the program starts now. No! Is in the air. Adam Pac-Man Jones joined in with one half of the Hammer, Dahn, Cowboys Tone Diggs, and the Toxic Table at Boston Connor and Ty Schmidt. As they said love as the beat dropped. The only human that didn't say it was the other person on the screen. He's to my left, your right. He's a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion, a Ryder Cup champion, and a man that just fails to go all in with the team.
Yeah, always.
AJ Hawk.
Yeah.
Oh.
Good to be here.
You don't like love, dude? You don't like the fact that Nick has found the person that he wants to spend forever with? And
well, how about maybe if someone gives me a little bit of an alert of what the word is, the word of the day is, because it changes daily now.
You knew it from the last hour, okay? You were on and you heard it last hour, so don't act like you didn't know.
Listen, sometimes we're going to have to be able to make audibles and adjustments on the fly, and you're just going to have to know it, okay? You know, some offenses, you got to be reading the defense the same exact way.
Yeah.
Okay? That needs to happen here. All right, AJ?
Okay. Yeah, remember we tried this one other time when I tried to jump in with you on this, and you guys played a trick on me.
Go back to the beginning.
And
all right, hey, it's love.
Not supposed to be.
It's
what
love.
hour is this? What hour is this? The first hour?
It's
second
love.
hour?
Please, the third hour.
Love.
Same exact time we are right now.
Yes.
That was actually just a commercial that was pre-recorded. That everything you just saw was not live. Nope. That was all a pre-recorded commercial.
You just said he's not doing it.
We just recorded this. What do you mean he's not doing it? We recorded this 4 days ago.
That's right.
Yeah.
We knew that.
I'll do it. I'm in.
Okay, sweet. So, Foxy, let's have this commercial end right now, and let's kick off the third hour of the program here on this beautiful Thursday, April 13th, 2023.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go. This show fucking stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it. AJ, never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it! What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck Boston.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this holy shit Nick's getting married Thursday, April 13th, 2023. Hour 3 of the program starts now.
Love. Nailed it. You guys are terrible teammates.
Yeah.
Terrible teammates. I don't care.
He did.
I nailed it.
We wouldn't have been able to hear
Congrats, Nick. Congrats, Nick.
Not a lot of emphasis or enthusiasm on that.
I said I would say it. I didn't. You didn't like demand how much enthusiasm.
I'm not demanding anything. I'm just asking you to buy in.
Yeah, you got to meet this
I
bozo
bought
halfway.
in, and you guys all backed out. So there we go.
I wanted to hear you.
Didn't want to step over you.
Yeah.
What if this is the first day you ever watched this show?
That'd be
Any
great.
day, you can say that any day.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I know.
Certainly to kick off an hour, yeah. Welcome back, just hit the whole.
So confused. Wait, was that not live? Was it really commercial?
So was that pre-recorded? What did happen? Imagine if we did. That would be like
Breaking
Inception.
the fourth wall.
no, what's his name? The Landing on the Moon. We let Moon. Jim
Neil.
Carrey.
Andy
Kaufman.
Andy
There
Kaufman.
it is.
That would be an Andy Kaufman move. Just do a whole thing that looks like it's live. And then saying, oh, that's actually a pre-recorded commercial. Let's go to the show now. And then wearing something completely different, but doing it for like 25 minutes. And then going back to it. That would be an Andy Kaufman move. We're not that intelligent, but I do know there's a lot of things we have to talk about to wrap up this glorious week around the NFL. Keyshawn Johnson said on NFL Live yesterday something that I think we were maybe pondering about a few weeks ago. Sean Payton, listen, he ain't going to fuck around with quarterback not playing good. Keyshawn Johnson brought that to light, and we believe it to be true. Sean Payton, the only reason why he said, not the only reason, the biggest reason why he picked the Denver Broncos, obviously they have the richest owner in the sport, but also he said ownership, GM, head coach aligned. Everything that Sean Payton would potentially need or want to have success, they would basically give it to him. He has signed the most recent deal there. I know Russell Wilson has signed a big deal. They bring Sean Payton in after Russell Wilson has signed his big deal. Sean Payton was not there when they signed Russell Wilson. Sean Payton wants to have success with Russell Wilson, but Sean Payton, if Russell Wilson stinks, which there were some games last year where...
Many games.
Was it him? Was it the offense? Was it a head coach? Was it the situation? Yeah. We have no idea what it was. You think Sean Payton would be able to pull the trigger and say, you know what, Russ? Here's a clipboard. We have a guy now on the field that can throw and make completions because that's literally what my offense is. I need the quarterback to complete the right passes in a bucket, pretty much.
Yep.
You think Sean Payton would be able to do that like what Keyshawn Johnson said yesterday on NFL Live?
Yeah, I think if any head coach in the league has the juice to do that, to sit Russell Wilson down, it would be Sean Payton. But I don't know. There would have to be, 10 weeks of poor play in a row to them even think about replacing him. Also, who do you put in? And then what's his contract look like? Can they even sit this guy?
What do you think? I'm sure they could. They would have to pay him a lot of money. I mean, it would be quite a stand. But to your point, be who you can afford to be. Sean Payton's one of the only people I think that people would be like, yeah, that's what Sean Payton thinks.
Russ is going to be better. No matter what, he's going to be better this year than last year. But how
you
much
think Hackett sucks? Okay, got it.
Make it. I'm saying Russ obviously did not like that system or didn't like something going on.
It was terrible.
What do you think about Russell Wilson's performance last year and then with Sean Payton, how he'll do?
What the performance, was it less ride or less roll?
Let's ride.
Let's ride.
That was so sweet. So sweet.
Yeah, it was kind of like
cool.
They didn't ride anywhere.
Awesome.
They got in a car.
Yeah.
The ride wasn't good.
Electric car.
Did you tell
maybe
him
a
that, Pat?
Mustang.
Yeah, I told him. I said live last year that he played like shit. He did.
Oh, I meant did
Where,
you give him that
Seattle?
tagline, the Let's Ride?
Oh no, I ain't giving him that tagline, but that was $1 billion tagline. He said, "Let's ride."
Genius.
Boom.
Hey, but
Fucking A, dude.
What is it now? Buck him up? What is it now?
This is an artifact now. Buck you, I believe, or buck up.
Buck 'em.
Buck 'em, I believe.
Buck him.
I got sent this from the Broncos. Like, big shout out to the Broncos. We appreciate the hell out of you.
Yeah.
With that being said, this took over the internet for good reasons, of course.
Yeah, of course.
For good, positive reasons, not mockery reasons at all.
Colleges started to do
I'm
it.
quite sure they ain't saying that shit this year with Sean Payton.
No, he said buck 'em, I think.
Buck 'em.
Yeah, actually, I believe he said buck 'em, and he said, hey, pass the bucking ball. He like he was using buck as fuck.
Yeah.
Very clearly, and I enjoyed it. But the hype around this was because everybody thought Russell Wilson and the Broncos were going to be great. Remember, that roster was supposed to win a Super Bowl if they just got a good quarterback. They go get a good quarterback. A quarterback who has never won an MVP, right? That was the topic of conversation every single time he played football.
Never had a first place vote, right? Isn't that what his whole thing?
Yeah, like that was a big story, but he was a good player, everybody assumed. And then he goes, that was abysmal.
It was terrible.
It was terrible to watch.
He stunk.
Was it Hackett, you think? Was it the offense? Will he be able to learn a brand new offense yet again? Third one in 3 years? Like, there's so many different questions that go into it. But we all assume Sean Payton will be able to get the best out of Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, Hackett was definitely part of it, but like Russ did not look the same last year. We talked so many times on either Mondays or Tuesdays or, the following day after they played. And, like, you just looked at several of his throws. It's like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Like, he has not done this shit before. We always talked about how pretty his deep ball was when he was in Seattle.
From the moon.
Yeah, moon ball right into a bucket. And then, like, it was the Colts game where, there's a terrible score. They drive down, they get into the red zone, they have a chance to put it away, and he goes right at Stephon Gilmore 2 times in a row. Second time, Gilmore picks him off. It's just, like, little shit like that just made no sense, and maybe Hackett was a huge part of that.
Hey, those moon balls, a problem for a corner? And why do you think we didn't see it? That takes a lot of arm strength, does it not?
Yeah, but he was on the motion a lot when he was in Seattle. I mean, on the move a lot in Seattle. You can see this past year he was throwing from the pocket a lot.
What does that do to you guys?
Well, certain quarterbacks don't do good
short
just
too.
sitting in the pocket. Shit, he only my height.
What's that?
5'10", maybe.
Oh, okay.
6 feet. No, I'm just 5'10", 5'11", okay?
Yeah,
so
5'12".
It's hard for me to see over the line. These guys are 6'6", 6'5", 6'1", 6'2". So I like to do play action, get out on the outside of the pocket. That way I can throw the big moon ball, which is play action. 9 times out of 10 is that ball open. The DB is looking in the backfield or got sucked up on the play.
Oh, can't be getting sucked up.
Yeah. It happens
Can't be getting
sometimes.
sucked up, dude. Huh? Keep it tight.
That's right.
Did Russ have any surgeries or anything in the offseason? Was he dinged up that we don't know about?
He's
Swag, I think he...
Yeah. Swag infusion.
Lose some
yeah,
weight.
I think he did have a little bit of a swag infusion.
I think he lost some weight. He's at OTAs. He's showing up, unlike, some guys.
He was the first one there, actually, I read.
Yeah, he had
obviously.
he had a moxie shake, didn't he? Like some people are drinking milkshakes.
Yep.
And he didn't have his Broncos jersey. He had his college jersey on.
And he came out of that fucking monster truck
Yeah.
that he drove to training camp.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, he had some surgeries, I guess, depending upon what you're talking about. I don't know if he had any injuries. He did add a lot to his game. The good man brand came around.
That's right.
Yeah.
But Team 3's gone, right? In Denver, they're not allowed in the facility. Is that correct?
Team 3 might be gone, but 3
The other surgery, no office.
is always going to be there.
He ain't going anywhere.
Yes. What a truck.
Nice truck.
What
Is it
is-
electric?
Pac-Man, just real quick. I don't think that's electric. I don't think that's electric.
Look at that antenna on the back. What is that?
That thing goes underwater, bro. That's for service. If you're out there in the middle of nowhere, pal, you're
Log in the
camping in
huddle.
that thing.
You can go in 6 feet of water. That's why his exhaust is up top.
Hell yeah. Little snorkel on that thing.
Yeah, that's so he can look up plays, any type of film he wants. That's why the antenna.
So it's actually, that antenna is actually a flat screen that pops up and spins in front of the car while he's driving.
Yep.
So that there's no wasted time watching film.
Genius.
Just a movie theater right in front of him while he's driving home. Pac, have you ever seen somebody wear their own jersey to training camp?
Never in my life.
Man, me neither. That was my biggest takeaway.
New team. He's excited, though. New
Bro,
colors, new
have you-
team.
Have you? Would you wear your jersey to training camp?
for sure.
AJ?
AJ did.
I did it every year. Yeah, they just never took my picture. I wish they would have. I was yelling at them to do it, but they didn't.
Why not? They didn't want to waste any fucking frames on you, pal?
You wore your practice jerseys every day.
No, it's game
Game
jersey. Game jersey.
Skin tight. You know how game jerseys look so good with no pads on, just real tight and long? Yeah, I wore that.
And then
Eye black, right?
Kevin,
I started putting eye black on after the 3rd or 4th year. I wouldn't get any attention for it.
so
yeah.
Kevin Green would do the same thing. He'd wear like his Steeler. You guys, he'd be like, "A to the J, brother."
He
He would.
KG would. KG had the biggest, this chopper with the huge handlebars. Oh, man. That dude is the man. I'm so upset he's gone.
I do think we should clarify that AJ is talking out of his fucking ass.
Yeah.
Whenever he says that he would
What do you
wear,
mean?
because like.
Oh, yeah. My bad. So I don't know if you took me serious.
Yeah, it might be somebody first time watching the show, AJ.
Yeah, literally.
It's a
Good
great
call,
point
Pac.
you got there.
Who's
Great
there?
point, Pac-Man. I did not wear my jersey to training camp, but if I somehow could go back in time, maybe I would.
Yeah, well, I think that was my first thing that like things were up with Russell Wilson. Because Russell Wilson is a movie character.
It's the first thing. It's the very first thing you thought, like, oh, this is a little bit unique.
Yeah, I thought the season was fucked that day. Put that picture back up. As soon as I seen it, I'm like, well, that's a problem. I've never seen a human that has had success in the NFL wear their own jersey to training camp.
He had that made too. It have no Nike sign on
Yeah,
it.
it's Team 3. Hey, I fucking love him.
Yeah.
I want him to get back to being good.
Yep.
Russell Wilson is his own entity. He's obviously a great story. 4th rounder, I think, right? Third rounder up in there to becoming a superstar. He gets paid finally because remember he had a 3rd-round contract and then does it all, and he's laying in bed with Sierra.
Yep.
With the chains and the $100 million.
Yeah,
got all in there. So hopefully he'll be able to figure it out. Sean Payton seems like the guy to be able to get it done. Russell Wilson's at OTAs before anybody else. He's going to learn the offense. They're going to be a whole new team.
He did have knee surgery this offseason.
Clean it up, right?
Okay. How much, obviously they're going to be better. We all love Sean Payton. They have to play the AFC East this year. Their division is very, very good now. Jimmy G's on the Raiders. What is actual success for the Broncos? 8 and 9? Because they're not beating the Chiefs twice.
I think people will be pissed if they don't go at least 10.
They need to make the playoffs.
Yeah, have to make playoffs.
Oh, man, I don't know.
You put the Raiders as contenders because Jimmy G went there?
No, I think they're better, though.
Then,
yeah.
In the Broncos.
What are you saying? Hold on. I mean, that was certainly a comment that warrants a little conversation.
I'm just saying, I think Denver get way better than the Raiders fucking get by bringing Sean Payton than the Raiders fucking bringing Jimmy G.
So you don't like Jimmy G?
I'm saying Jimmy G is a guy, he don't, I don't think he make the offense better.
I think he can execute the offense, though, is what Josh McDaniels will say. Now,
yeah, but does that make them better?
Well, actually, that's a great question because after games, you'll hear people say, we didn't execute. That's an excuse by coaches to say, game plan was solid. Okay? Players fucked up.
Their fault. It's their fault.
Players fucked up. Boom, it was them. Jimmy G, I feel like, will execute game plan. That is what he is known for almost. So I think, the execution thing can't really be the question with Jimmy G. I feel like he's going to put people in the right, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now, is that team, is Josh McDaniels' offense, is that roster good enough to go on a win? I think that is certainly a question.
Yeah, definitely. Especially because, their defense has never been as good as the defense as Jimmy G has had.
Oh, no, here we go. It's like what the Saints did with Pac-Man here.
Yeah.
You got Max Crosby over there.
Oh, yeah. No, they have a great – Max Crosby and Chandler Jones are great.
Good line.
But they don't have a 9
after that.
Let's say all the twos that he had in San Francisco, though. He don't have more twos with the Raiders than he had in San Francisco.
Completely agree.
And he couldn't win it there.
And I'm not saying, the Raiders are the biggest competitor with the Broncos, but they're not better than the Chargers and the Chiefs. And Sean Payton coming in is going to help a lot. But was Russell Wilson bad at, because he didn't know the plays, or were all his deep balls deep or short? Or was he missing throws that he usually made?
No, he stunk.
Yeah, that was the bigger thing than him not
I thought he potentially did ayahuasca and forgot how to play
football.
football.
If Stein comes in, though.
Didn't we all think that? Didn't we all think that a little bit? Because that was not the Russell Wilson that any of us had
Didn't we expect him to put it together eventually? That's what I think we were waiting for all season, and it never really clicked. It never got consistent.
So I remember I'm hearing Herb Street's voice when the Colts were playing the Broncos, talking about how, work in progress here. That was week 9, week 8. That was in there a little bit.
It was early on.
Maybe was it earlier than week 9 or week 8? Maybe.
No. I don't think. I think it was around then.
But I'm saying that's pretty. I mean, you talk training camp and OTAs. That's
true.
Halfway through a season is pretty. That's pretty far for a veteran quarterback. If Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur's offense looked the way it looked deep into that first season, there would have been full on.
Oh yeah.
Throw this in the dumpster. This is terrible. That's how bad it was for how long it was. It was always at week 5 was the Colts-Broncos game. So he was talking about how there's growing pains. And it was okay, that sounds very feasible. That sounds very understandable. But then it just they never grew, right?
No. Then that stat came out that was if the Broncos would have scored 17 or more points, this was through week 10, that they would have been 8-2 or something like that. So the defense was fucking killing teams every week. And they he had 5 touchdown passes through the first 8 weeks of the season.
That was tough to watch.
Yeah, and their defense was really good, and because they paid Russell Wilson all that money, they had to trade Bradley Chubb because they can't pay guys.
Okay, let's good luck to all parties there.
Good luck.
Yep. Keep it up.
A lot of money, tough division. Let's talk about Nick Caserio. Allegedly, there was a report on the internet. Well, Ian just said it's not true.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Shouldn't even talk about it. But he didn't know about Apostolopoulos.
It's true.
Did anybody know about Apostolopoulos?
Shefty and Windhorst.
Yeah.
But before this, though, when did his name pop up before this?
Well, when everybody, March 22nd is when Wendy said that Apostolopoulos is potentially getting into the game.
Mm-hmm.
So Wendy knows him. Also, anybody that grew up around Pontiac, Michigan knows the Apostolopoulos family.
Of course.
dad, founder of Silverdome.
Hell yeah.
Apparently he's been.
Is the Silverdome still up? Isn't it still there?
Well, Apostolopoulos, Andreas, the father, whenever he left, Silverdome went to shit, I think. Is that what happened, Foxy?
I was trying to remember. I feel like it's not there anymore, but that's a complete guess.
It's like
It was up there for a while vacant, I think.
Yes, that's correct. I know that for sure.
And then did they implode it? That's always like a good time.
I believe that's what happened, but I'm not remembering right.
They did that to the Igloo in Pittsburgh, and I'll tell you what, I almost missed school for a day because of it all around Pittsburgh. Everybody turn on the news, WTAE, what's going on?
Same with Three Rivers.
They're blowing up the Igloo. Same thing with Three Rivers.
2017, the Silverdome came down, but Apostolopoulos, I think Winnie knows him because I saw in the article that he's been sniffing around the cell of the Charlotte Hornets.
Okay, so he's in the game. I thought you were going to say because he buys like 80 gyros from his local establishment every day.
That's good Greek reference.
That's a good.
You feel good about that?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if the G was silent or
They
not.
should not have tore the Silverdome down. They should have left it as a standing memorial to where 90,000 people saw the Hulkster body slam Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3.
Hell yeah.
I agree.
Hell yeah.
Isn't there a memorial of that in place of the stadium?
Somebody told me I should build a $600,000 field turf for a school here in Indianapolis.
That's right.
What is that?
That's it?
They said it's another. Yeah, that's
It's
it.
Silverdome.
It's another venue.
They took the roof. They took the roof off.
Yeah, and then I assume this is the implosion video.
Yeah, it's just silver now.
Did they sell the seats? Usually, you can sell those seats.
No, the last Lions game of the year, my uncles were actually there, and they were just ripping the seats out to take a souvenir.
Yeah, because they wanted a piece of the Silverdome, brother.
Yep.
What was that? Just like 4 years ago, Superdome.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan.
Oh boy, they really gave it to him.
Welcome to the Silverdome.
Yep. Kicking off WrestleMania.
Biggest event of the year down New Orleans, Silverdome doing its thing. But venues, always good to have extra venues around town.
Oh yeah,
Silverdome.
apparently it was supposed to be demolished in 2017, but there was a wiring issue. So when they went to demolish it, it didn't work. So
You guys didn't even have good imploders, bro?
Don't say.
What is the deal? Guys can't blow a thing up.
I mean, that's the Silverdome. You don't just blow that thing up normally. I mean, that thing's going to be tough.
There's big brains in that. There's big brains in where they put the explosives and how they do it, you know. I don't want to dive into fracking, but I mean,
right.
There's a lot of that stuff going on. Strategic explosives are a full thing.
You don't want to jump into a fracking conversation?
But I believe that's what they do. Rocks.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like strategic explosives. Can't believe that fucking Detroit couldn't figure it out. They blow things
That'd
up.
be a fun gig.
Oh, there it is. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Look at all this.
Brother.
And G- oh,
How
no.
long does it take to scrape all that up and get it out?
Oh, no, they couldn't get to second level.
People.
Come on.
That's not how it's supposed to work.
Oh.
Cool footage, though.
That is super cool, man.
Looks like a stadium from Batman.
What do you get, Wrecking Ball?
What are those? Is that GM's parking lot?
Oh, it's
It's
gone.
gone.
You got a big Miley Cyrus kick, huh?
What's that? Him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said Miley's got a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
What,
What about Miley?
Been watching
You brought
Hannah
up-
You
Montana.
just said wrecking ball.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't mean, yeah.
Well, kind of, though.
So what's this going to be now?
Well, right here, it's going to be a retail entertainment complex right there on the right on the highway.
Oh, that looks sweet.
Man, we're going to miss the Silverdome, but really pumped about the redevelopment of the Silverdome.
Hell yeah.
Are you talking about new business destinations? Possibly you. All right. All right, let's go to the phones. That feels like everything.
Yeah. I mean, the breaking news during the show has been the biggest news of the week.
Yeah, but we don't know if it's real or not.
And it's fake.
Because
Yeah,
of Apostolopoulos.
exactly. Yeah. It's come to the table.
This is the everyday live thing, though, Pac, and I think you're getting to experience it, obviously, and you're doing a great job with us. We get caught up in some stories that are just turn out to not be real.
100% fake.
The amount of like clips like, oh, listen to what they said about this. It's like, oh, we can get got. We were celebrating Dan Snyder giving that thing to Josh Harris.
Yeah.
I got a full promo about how Magic Johnson going on the Today Show helped this whole thing out. At that moment, that thing was sold in our eyes.
Yeah.
And that's how it goes, too. Like, Zeta will find it. It'll be, seconds after it breaks. And then 5 minutes later, after you've cut an entire promo, it comes out that's not confirmed. And then it's not real yet.
And then people go, oh, look, this thing really
this aged
well or whatever. Yeah. If it would have happened.
What if it's a smokescreen, though? What if somehow Dan Snyder leaked this info to Shefty about Apostolopoulos just to get a bigger bid from Big Magic Johnson?
Let's start thinking about this. Remember, I told you about the negotiation strategy of Mr. Kim. Have to go ask Mr. Kim.
That's right.
What if Apostolopoulos is not a real human? Okay, this is just a fake human that Dan Snyder did create. Dan Snyder had dinner with Wendy one time on his yacht out at their Napoleon's Island. And Wendy was like, what do you got here? And he obviously loved the spread. Him and Dan Snyder got along. Dan Snyder was a gentleman in this particular fashion. Isn't always a gentleman. That's because he was working. He said, Wendy, wait till you hear about what Apostolopoulos is offering. So he puts that thing out in the buzz. Then the Bezos thing comes out. Oh, Bezos. Already told Bezos. What if this is all just a way for Dan Snyder to build up the bidding for his team, and none of it's real?
Certainly possible. Would have had to get on a Wikipedia page and, kind of create a false narrative or a false life for this guy, but that's not that hard. Anyone can update a Wikipedia
Foxy
page.
had no idea who owned the Silver Dome.
Exactly.
No idea. I only went to the Silver Dome once in my life, though.
Oh, this guy sucks.
I was like 6 years old. They made Ford Field in like 2000, I think.
And crazier things have happened. I could see Dan Snyder, feeding Wendy grapes on his yacht.
Yeah. Telling them stories.
Yeah, I could see
It's
it.
a villain move.
It's true. Josh Harris is a 5% owner in the Steelers, and we know that Tepper and Haslam were also a minority owner in the Steelers. So if you do that, you're automatically an owner in the NFL. So
how about Rooney just selling us a little piece?
Good.
Give us a piece, Rooney.
Come on.
5%. What's that?
Or Jim.
So much money. If we just $6 billion, let's just do what's 5% of $6 billion is. Quick math.
300 million. Nope.
600, 300 million.
30.
No, I think it's 3.
I think 300, right? 300 million.
Is it?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Good math out of you.
Let's go.
Not bad.
$3.98 billion is how much the Pittsburgh Steelers are worth.
No chance.
Okay, what's
there is no way.
Hey, Rooney,
That is
Rooney.
so disrespectful.
Rooney, look, your team ain't worth nothing, dude. Just give us like 60, 70, 80% of that thing. You know what I mean? And we need money to operate the team.
That feels right. I mean, the Broncos just went for 4 something. DC is a much bigger city, I'm pretty sure.
And expensive.
Yeah.
Very.
But you have to build
we
a
talk
stadium,
about-
though, in Washington.
And we talk about how when you go to games around the country, no matter what game it is, there will be a Steelers jersey.
Yeah, and the amount of merch that is sold from Steelers is huge. The business is certainly booming in Pittsburgh. That stadium in Washington's not going to get okayed. I don't know how anybody thinks that's going to be.
But the new owners have to feel like they have a good chance of getting it okayed. I don't think they would buy it if they didn't think they had a chance.
Is that not the grandstand capital of the world?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and I believe they were already denied. And granted, it might have been because
But they're saying, it's Dan Snyder, it's Dan
Yeah.
Snyder. It's like anytime a stadium needs to be built anywhere for anything.
Certainly going to be damn near impossible to do it with tax dollars. You would think, it almost would have to start at like, we will fully fund this and pay for it.
Well, then the
ourselves.
land becomes another
For sure.
a full thing.
Well,
Which I guess they could just buy it off of a private owner if they were to pay for it entirely. It's going to be an expensive stadium.
they won't. It doesn't feel like they'll be able to put it in DC. But if they did like the Foxborough, where they buy like a massive plot, build a
Virginia,
stadium, hotel.
where though? Everywhere there is dense, bro.
Yeah.
That whole area
It's going to
is
be out
very
there. It's
dense.
going to have to be out there somewhere.
Hour and a half away.
Yeah, but think about the traffic too in that area. That would be
Gridlock City.
Oh my God, it's going to be tough. That's going to be a tough thing. Plus $6 billion, whoever buys it, somebody will figure it out. That's why they're billionaires.
They have to.
Well, when they were first
Right, yeah.
when they were
That's why they're
first
billionaires.
talking about building it, like the plans were for like a 42,000 seat. Like if you're gonna do it, you have to you got to be able to seat at least like 70,000 people in there.
They'll figure it out, Peck.
Yeah, of course. I'm quite sure they're not spending $6 billion and haven't already went through these questions that we're talking
They bought a
about.
$100 million site for in Virginia. I'm not
Who
sure
did?
part of the Commanders.
Okay, so the site's already in there.
Yeah.
Now all you gotta do is just build it, construct it. Okay, so we got a new stadium, no problem.
Woodbridge, Virginia. They bought a 200-acre plot of land for $100 million.
Was that the one off the highway where we saw the
renderings?
Yeah, the renderings. It looked
thought
awesome.
so.
I didn't know they bought it. I thought they were thinking about buying it.
Yeah, and if that is like the traffic, some cities just have to deal with that, and they're just going to have
They
to
acquired the right to purchase. So I don't know if
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so they got it though. They can still spend it and do it.
23 miles outside of DC.
How about Dan Snyder going, yeah, I'm not going to buy it, but I'll let you know you can. Yeah. You guys can buy it.
And
Figure it out.
we're also not factoring in Magic Johnson flashes those pearly whites. Those politicians are going to do whatever he says.
You're right. He went on today's show and got the bid in. Apostolopoulos ain't doing that.
No.
Let's go to the phones, 500 phone line before we get the fuck out of here. Rob in Pittsburgh, what's going on, pal?
Shout out, Pat. It's an honor.
Honor's
Enjoy all your work, man.
Thank you, Rob. You too, pal. What's going on?
If you guys are coming back to the Berg, avoid the south side. Is sketchy AF right now.
Okay.
Good to know.
Turner's in Iron City has a beer.
Okay.
If you're going to gobble, go to Live. You can gobble in the mall and have Chick-fil-A. Enjoy your weekend, bro.
Thank you, Rob. Appreciate you, pal.
Wow.
Hell yeah, that was a great piece of information. Thank you, Rob.
That's a top 5 call right there.
It's about to be a great weekend in Pittsburgh. Let's go to Nolan in Jacksonville on the 5 Energy phone line. What's going on, Nolan?
Don't go to Live.
That's out of town. isn't it?
How you doing?
I think it's in Green.
Keep 'em up.
Washington?
I think it's in Greensburg.
Yes, sir. I was wondering if you think that Dan Snyder was keeping Harris as a little side piece and was solely waiting for Bezos to place a bid and knock them all out the water, because as soon as Bezos bowed out, it seems like this deal started kicking in motion.
What about Apostolopoulos?
Do you think that free agents are more destined to come now?
What about Apostolopoulos?
He ain't real.
You think that's a fake human?
I like that.
That's a Snyder ploy.
All right, I love it. I love if he thinks. I do appreciate the fact that we think that Dan Snyder is that big of a mastermind.
Yeah, because that would be genius. Could create some fake Wikipedia pages.
Fake Silverdome owner.
Yep. You watch Succession. Stuff like that can happen. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I think that's why we think like that, because all they care about is the bottom line.
That's right.
They'll do anything. That's the game almost. How do we change the bottom line a little bit?
And that was the first episode where they had one bid, and then some other person comes in and raises it a little bit.
Zito just asked, have you watched the most recent episode of Succession?
Yeah, I saw old buddy fake his own death. I saw that.
Oh.
Classic.
We got an Avicii situation.
Spoiler alert. Interesting.
Wow.
You didn't watch the after show explanation of the episode.
There's been a lot of interviews that have been done by the cast of characters about episode 3 there. Seems like it's been a pretty known pivotal episode for some time. That came out of nowhere.
Nowhere.
Spoiler, earmuffs, if you haven't seen it. It's real early to kill one of the greatest characters in the history of television in the season, I think.
7 episodes left.
I guess one person only saw the dead body. That was Roman.
Yeah, well, they kind of showed it, though, in the episode.
Yeah.
Kind of showed it.
Yeah.
That's
dead.
real early to kill that guy. But
The show
boy,
is called Succession, though. So it's supposed to be, hey, how did the kids do it?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, though. The business shit that could set up here with Mattson still in play.
Oh, yeah.
And Jerry back pissed.
Jerry's back.
Pissed, too. She's got a little...
She's got an axe to grind.
HBO's got no problem killing off main characters very early.
Yeah, Game of Thrones, right? That happened all the time?
Let's see what happens with the ex-wife and current wife. They're definitely going to come back into the fold.
And girlfriend.
Yep. Gojo.
Oh, Chuckles?
Chuckles the clown. Like she caught a foul ball at the Yankees game.
That was awesome.
Let's go to the phones. 5 Energy phone line. Great show. We were telling Pac he's got to watch it. Got to watch it, Pac.
Yeah. And if AJ's not sold, what should sell him is that the bodyguard that he goes to dinner with, he was crying, outside. That's what really sells it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Unless he's getting work, too. Let's go to Cody in Maine. Cody, what's going on, pal?
Hey, what's up, boys? Let's keep it moving.
All right.
I wanted to ask you all about Devin White. I've not been hearing a whole lot of chatter about him after requesting that trade. To me, the Eagles seem like a good landing spot, losing Edwards and White. But I wanted to know what you all thought, best option for him and where he might land.
Have a great weekend, Cody. AJ, Devin White's still a great player, right?
Yeah, I think he's a stud. But didn't his GM just come in and act like, hey, we're not moving him?
Tone Diggs wanted to ask Rappaport about it earlier, but we overran some time on some stupid conversations. What did you read about it?
Because I hadn't heard anything. Because guy's been a Pro Bowler, an All Pro. He's won a Super Bowl. He's a fifth overall pick. He's only 25. I was surprised that we hadn't heard more about it. I didn't see the GM thing. That's why I was going to ask about it.
Let's go to Devin White's player. Yeah.
Yeah, player. I wouldn't move him if I was Tampa Bay.
What are they going to have to do? Just repay him? Is it money?
It's his 5th year coming up for a first round pick. I think he's due a contract either after this year or
Oh, he wants an extendo.
Yeah.
They're able to do that down there all the time with Mike Greenberg, their salary cap guru. They should be able to figure that out. But we should have asked Rapp. We apologize that we didn't. Up there in Maine, Tampa Bay fan, or is he a Phillies fan or Eagles fan? That's why he wants that.
Could be an Eagles fan.
Eagles would be in play for everybody, it feels like.
Yeah.
Howard Roseman.
Would make sense.
Last call here on the 5 Energy phone line. Let's go to Tyler in El Paso, Texas, all the way down there in Texas. What's going on, pal?
What's going on, Pat? Shout out to you guys. FTB, baby.
Hell yeah.
Shot in FTB.
Keep it moving, boys. I just had one question, one favor. I was wondering, Magic Johnson said a lot about Dan Snyder. So I was wondering what Lou Holtz thought about Dan Snyder. Was Lou Holtz a fan, or is he more of a Brian Kelly fan?
Tyler, that's a great question. I don't think we need to ask about Brian Kelly to Lou Holtz. We've already known that. But is Lou Holtz a part of the ownership group that is getting him into the Washington Commanders building? That's a great question. Coach Lou Holtz, you a part of this group that is buying the Washington Commanders potentially from Dan Snyder?
Unfortunately, a lot of people know this. I was the head coach of the New York Jets for about 2 months. They fucking tossed my ass out of the NFL quicker than you would believe. I'm not an NFL guy, okay? I mold young minds. I mold young boys into men. Dan Snyder is your fucking
You say
cockroach.
suck my tongue?
I am actually good friends with the Dalai Lama. I know you guys were talking about it last week. He's a jokester. He's a prankster, okay? So guess what? If that kid didn't know that the Dalai Lama was joking around when he said, hey, kid, suck my fucking tongue, then guess what? That's on his kid and it's on his parents. You know, if he were to come to Notre Dame, I'd let him know, hey, his holiness jokes around, okay? He pranks around. Yeah, a couple recruits come in and just to kind of take their temperature, I'll send them down to my office and say, hey, you know what? You want to play quarterback? All you got to do, suck my tongue.
Oh, okay.
And if they do.
So you and him, it's your thing.
Yeah, it's kind of just, it's a generational thing. It kind of just tests the mental of kids, and it lets me know, hey, how committed is this kid to playing quarterback under me? Will he suck my tongue? If he will, shit, he could be a legend.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
It's a shame to hear you're not getting into the NFL.
Huge bummer.
It's tough.
All right. This episode of the Pat McAfee Show was brought to you by NASCAR.
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
Ooh.
Listen up, because they got an important message for all of you, and we seen it on Twitter this morning, got a chance to chat with them. The people's champ.
Why?
NASCAR's number 9 Cup Series driver and 2020 season champion, Chase Elliott, is back.
Hell yeah.
Coming off an unfortunate snowboarding accident where he fractured his fibula.
Yeah.
That was tough.
Chase is back to the track this weekend doing what he does best, going fast.
Hell
He's
yeah.
back to the quest for another championship. I don't know about you. We're pumped about it.
Yeah, so pumped.
And if he wins, we're actually donating $100,000 to a charity of his choice. You can watch this race Sunday, 3 p.m. on FS1. It's the NASCAR Cup Series at Martinsville. Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1. Chase Elliott is back.
Let's go.
Hell yeah. Good mustache.
Great
mustache.
Good conversation.
Yeah.
AJ, I think you would like Chase Elliott. Seemed like a good guy. He was wearing his full costume. I don't know if that's because he just got done working or they told him, hey, be in costume. Nonetheless, cool guy.
Promo photo.
Yeah, it's good to have number 9 back, always. How long was he out?
6 weeks. 6 weeks. Long time in the middle of the season. We've got a lot of season left, though.
Yeah.
He's too far behind on points. He's just going for fucking wins.
That's right.
He needs to win this thing. If you're not first,
You're like,
Last.
Amen.
What's the stage thing they do?
It's so fucking
3 stages. They break it up into 3 races. It's basically a pit stop scheduled for every single car so that these longer races get broken up and there's more points for stage wins. Third one is the race, though. Third is the final one, and it is the actual wrap-up of the race.
I think they also do it because, like, after each stage, they basically restart the race. So it brings all the cars back together.
Yeah, because anytime you get a yellow or a caution or something like that, and you have to do a restart, those are the most exciting times of the race whenever you're in the middle of it because everybody's back in it. So now they're like, oh, how do we do that? Well, we can guarantee at least 2 of them with the stage game. A lot of the OG fans, like 10 Diggs, don't love it.
I don't love it at all.
Not for me.
I'm with Tone on this one.
Fucking Intimidator, hate it.
Well, Intimidator was actually racing against Chase's dad a lot, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kicking his ass.
Bobby Bonnie, Mark Moore.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. They were battling out there in those cars. Anyways, 3 p.m. Eastern, Fox Sports 1, back in Martinsville. Before we get out of here for an incredible weekend, we can't thank you all enough for allowing us to do this for a living. We announced yesterday that us and Shop 412 back in Pittsburgh will be collabing on some merch and some items going forward. We want to kind of take the merch game to a little different level. Still have t-shirts and such, which we are very thankful that people purchase and buy and represent our entire operation. Every time I see a shirt of ours out in public, I always chat with them and I always tell them thank you so much for the love. I think all the boys do. But we're trying to take it to the next level, next stage, and we're doing shit with Shop 412. To celebrate that, I think we should give away 10 merches.
Ooh, okay.
Love that.
All we have to do is have something incredible happen. Today, the incredible thing that has to happen, Adam Pac-Man Jones will have to make a basketball shot from that foul line to that basket.
Ooh.
If Adam Pac-Man Jones is able to do that, we'll give 10 people free merches from store.patmcafeeshow.com. As all of the apps that are paying digitally are going through some fuckery right now, we do know that the store will be the quickest and most efficient way to benefit the beautiful people that participate in these giveaways every single day. Adam Pac-Man Jones wearing leather pants today.
Yeah, they look good.
He looks so cool. He's had an incredible week. He's been working on this shot, I believe, with Boston Connor. Connor, what are your thoughts on Pac-Man's shot from one foul line to the other hoop?
They're pretty good, but that's the one thing that you mentioned. I have not seen him shooting leather pants yet, so I'm interested to see how that's going to affect him.
It is 80 degrees outside. Leather pants don't really breathe well, but that's what happens when you're always cool. Cool is the other side of the pillow. Cool as a cucumber. What are your thoughts, AJ, on Pac-Man with the moon shot here from the other foul line?
I mean, those leather pants are amazing. Does he still have his ears in? I can't, I would imagine my lower body would be sweating profusely if I wore leather.
He can hear you.
You know how fucking cold he keep it in here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. You're right.
Fucking freezing.
What?
You have to wear.
You're like Dave Letterman. You keep it at 52 degrees.
I love it.
What are you guys talking about?
Yeah, it's not 52. It's
You're freezing?
What?
Listen, we don't need this soft shit before we're trying to win 10 people some merches right now, okay?
80 degrees out.
Well, why you got a hoodie on?
Because I'm trying to rep Boston because the Penguins lost.
It's 3/4. Relax.
Because Pat keep it cold.
I do like it a little chilly.
I keep my apartment at 61.
I run a little hot.
That's not 59.
Okay, anyways, let's not talk about the temperature. Let's make it a little bit hotter in here.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Let's put some swishes through
Come
the
on,
bucket.
Pac.
Pac, if you can make the moonshot from one foul line to the opposite bucket, 10 people, some merches from store.patmcafeeshow.com. All they got to do is retweet this video, say something nice to somebody, and put their cash down. Oh, must have bonus ball.
Ooh, I thought
Bonus
that was
ball,
it.
bonus ball.
No bonus
no
ball.
bonus.
Didn't bounce back across the table. That's a shame. Could have had a behind the back shot.
Looks
But
good.
instead, we got nothing. That ball's a little flatter than the other. Could get a good bounce off the backboard. Adam Pac-Man Jones attempting the moonshot for 10 people to win some merch.
Oh.
Bonus ball.
Bonus ball.
Oh, the net says no.
Lean over,
Oh,
Pac-Man.
man.
Grab the ball.
Ladies and gentlemen, all Adam Pac-Man Jones has to do is bury the moonshot here at the Thunderdome. 10
Come on,
people win
Pac.
some merches who retweet this video, say something nice to somebody, and...
That's why he's short.
All right, and have
Leather pants. See, this is what I meant. Leather pants seem to come into.
Pac-Man has really cool shoes on as well, AJ. Well, we kind of let that kind of just slip right by.
Galaxy.
Leather pants into the shoes with a sweet hoodie.
Sweet hoodie.
Sweet hoodie.
Sweet. Fresh.
Cookies.
This one is money.
Go. Here you go, Pac.
Do it. Yeah, this is it. This one's in, Pac.
Adam Pac-Man Jones played 14 years in the NFL at the corner position.
Long time.
Ran a 4.28 as an incredible athlete. If he makes this moonshot...
Bonus ball. Grab it. Nice.
Oh!
Yes! Smart.
Steals a bonus ball for the people. If he can make the moonshot...
Bonus ball.
Oh, came back. The universe said you get another one at this. Adam Pac-Man Jones, moonshot.
Hold on, there's one more ball.
Bonus rack ball.
On the bottom of the rack.
Oh, my God, I didn't see.
Holy shit.
Holy shit.
Wow.
That's the money ball right there.
Thank you, Joe.
Oh, thanks, Joe.
Joe Nardo says, this weekend while we go back to Pittsburgh, let's remember that the Doppler dog, DiNardo, used to roam those streets and those airwaves, sending nothing but positive vibes and great predictions. My prediction is this. Adam Pac-Man Jones, 14-year NFL corner, is about to bury a moonshot, and 10 people are about to win some merches from store.patmcafeeshow.com. Bonus ball. Not a lot of effort. Bonus ball.
There you go.
Bonus ball.
Do it for Joe, Pac.
Come on.
This is for Joe DiNardo.
For Joe.
The Doppler dog. Joe DiNardo. Adam Pac-Man Jones.
Ooh.
All right.
Bonus ball.
Yes. All right,
There we go. There we go.
All right, bonus ball. All right, here we go.
Come on, Pac.
All Pac's got to
Pac.
All Pac's got to do is make the moonshot here. 10 people will win merches from store.patmcafeeshow.com. All right, there's another ball. Big time rebound. This guy has double happening. Another rebound. This guy's got 6 rebounds. There's some Skittles on the floor. And
Bill.
Adam Pac-Man Jones, his earpiece has unlatched. He cannot hear anything AJ's saying, but he does know 10 people.
10 shots, 10 people. Bang.
Oh my God! You're there. You're there right now.
You're getting robbed.
Oh!
Was it halfway down?
Like 7 of them were in.
Good effort. Stick taps.
Yep.
It's right on line, too. He was throwing oops to Big Joe before the show. And
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yep.
Tech Joe, dude.
Yeah.
See, we got a rack.
Sweet. Changes the game.
All right, that fucking pig.
Oh, shit. Too strong.
Been working out.
Can you try to hit the camera that's pointed at you?
AJ.
Oh.
That's the one.
AJ.
Or just make it
This
right
camera,
by the camera.
is $250,000.
The one that's staring at you, I know. Just throw one right by it to show your accuracy.
Oh,
pretty good.
There you go.
All right.
There you go.
All right, let's get out of here. Let's all have an incredible weekend. Okay, let's enjoy Nick getting married. Hope you all are incredibly nice to each other. We will miss you tomorrow. Axe Pack is at 4:30.
Yep.
Oh, that one almost went in too from our angle.
Yeah, looked good.
Felt like I was going to hit it.
It looked very close, yeah.
Good thing you did.
Oh.
Oh, shook it.
Jeez. I mean, that's mission accomplished.
Highest passer rating in the history of Thanksgiving games.
Boom.
People forget it. Can't. That was a good throw. I'm pretty pumped about that. I assume we broke something up there, though.
Yeah, wire or two.
So we'll get that figured out over the weekend. AJ, have a great weekend. We appreciate you. Pac-Man, incredible week. Good luck with the hashtag AxePack
Boy, Pac.
at 4:30 Eastern on Twitter. Tone Diggs, what a week out of you, pal. You're going to look great on Saturday.
I appreciate that. So are you.
Ty, you're the man, pal.
I appreciate it.
Same with you, Connor. Good luck
Ty.
officiating that wedding.
Hey, good luck with your speech too, Pat.
Everybody in the back, great work. Nick, good luck. And hashtag Axe. How do I pronounce it?
Ask.
How do I pronounce it?
Ask.
Axe?
Ask.
Axe.
Ask. AKA. K?
AKSK.
Ask.
Axe.
A cock pack would be also.
A cock?
Yeah, a cock pat.
What are those? The macaques, that monkey crew that I learned about over there?
Macaques.
MACAQUE, I believe is the name. They're a fucking wild bunch.
Yeah.
Those.
There's a couple young guns. So I think last time we checked in.
They're trying to take over the entire crew.
Yeah.
So it's not the macaque. It's not a cock.
No.
It's Axe
Right.
Pack. Can't wait to see the answers you give. Thanks for everything. Big shout out to Chase Elliott for stopping by. Good luck this weekend. 100,000 to him. His favorite charity.
Yes.
If he wins the race this weekend. Ian Rappaport for giving us some news, but not knowing all the news. But he's the man. And to all of our guests this week, you are the best. This weekend we celebrate love.
Hell yeah.
Which we can't help but, kind of echo the sentiment that everybody love everybody.
Yelly.
We all have a lot more in common than we could ever imagine. We all just beat COVID.
Hell yeah.
Let's enjoy this life and let's say nice things to each other. We're going to Chef Bo's.
Chef Bose.
Goodbye.